Nintendo for the minigame hype, but the first Atari Flashback console was released in 2004, well before Nintendo released the miniature version of the popular NES. Atari, right there.
How do you really feel?
Well, you said
Well,
it
I still
yourself.
think
Popular NES.
yes, like Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is the NES lie of Metal Jesus.
Here we go.
That didn't take long at all.
You guys got something against Metal Jesus? I don't.
No,
No, not at all. Not at
Talking
all.
about the video that how he was wrong.
No, Glenn.
We're trying to get him on.
No, what Glenn has the issue
What
with.
better way to do it than prove him wrong?
Glenn's got the issue because it's Atari. See, that's
Yes,
what he just wants to make a statement that his
Classic
Atari was
Atari.
first.
Right.
Classic
Atari.
That's all
Not
this
the
is about.
abomination.
Yes.
Not the abomination it is today. Now it's the new Atari is basically the Disney Star Wars.
Oh, here
Where
we
the
go.
old
Lincoln
Atari.
Hotel.
Oh, the what is it? AVS?
Yeah,
or
that is so
something?
stupid. That is so damn stupid,
I
man.
don't know what they're thinking. Well, they were trying to do an Intellivision version of that, and I don't know where they thought they were going to get a fan base. I was going to opt in for a freaking Intellivision today
What's up, guys?
because it's modern.
They're all saying to Eric's saying to you really hate Kathleen Kennedy, don't you, Glenn?
I'm sure she's got like a I almost said warrant, but no, not a warrant. A restraining order. Yeah, restraining order against you.
Well, I only
this
hate her
point-
as far as what she does in the business world. What she does in her personal life, I don't care. But
Hey, Lindsay.
fortunately, I think she's done anyway. I think she has no creative control. She was touching. See, she was starting to mess with the Mandalorian. All right, now you were getting some bad territory. You know what they said? Out.
This is
Off
not
the
the
set,
way.
kicked her out. Right, that's not the way.
So,
That's
bad
exactly right.
mojo, man.
This is the way out.
Right. Don't ruin that series, man. That is the best thing going on right now, and do not let her touch it.
Did that finish yet or no? I've seen a few episodes.
Season 1. What?
Yeah.
Whoa. You have not watched The
haven't finished
Mandalorian
it?
yet?
So
Not all of it.
Wolf says that he agrees
Ah.
with you, Glenn. He said that
Thank
she ruined Star Wars. Red says, "Hey folks." P-Dub says, "Hey guys, what's buzzing?" Is there a buzz?
Buzz.
Oh, that might be
I
Glenn.
can turn my Vetrex on. You get all the buzz you
Oh
want.
dear Lord. Patton, you're on number 20. This is a milestone.
What does that mean?
Episode
Number
20.
20?
Yeah, you're an
Oh,
even
cool.
number, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Is that
Like-
good?
that is
It's
good.
like the old Schoolhouse Rock.
You didn't get
5, 10,
canceled,
15,
so that's
20.
good.
Nobody
Did you
Nobody
have,
pulled
do you
the
have
plug.
better luck on your even episodes than your odd episodes?
We'll see.
We'll have to take the fifth on that right now. We're being broadcast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not like the Dynasty Warriors series where like all the even ones were good and all the odd ones were bad.
Well, I like Star Trek too.
Six.
Star Trek movies.
I don't know Star
Only
Trek.
the even ones were good.
I haven't
What?
seen any of
my
the Star
God, you guys
Trek
kill me.
movies.
You guys caused me such pain.
Looks like the Intellivision, Shelton saying, looks like the Intellivision Anico is actually getting more support than the new Atari VCS and
Oh, yeah.
probably progressing
Because
faster.
nobody honestly thinks that Atari VCS is ever going to come out.
Right.
Yeah, because they keep lying
Right.
about the release date
Ouch.
and it's making people mad.
Yeah, and the developer left, and he's like trying to get his money
Mhm.
because he's like, "Hey, you guys didn't pay me for 6 months, by the way."
Yeah, he's suing everybody. Isn't it being who's the one in charge of that? That the music composer, what's his name? Tommy Tellerico? Isn't he the one?
Oh, it's not Joy
Tommy
Buttafuoco?
What's that?
Not Joy Buttafuoco?
Hey Glenn, I'm gonna
No.
have you if you want to share to other groups, go for it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
working
you
on it.
do that because
You don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. That's
I'm
the new
sharing
thing,
everything
guys.
on
That's
my
the new
stuff
thing.
now.
Don't worry about why, but I don't know what I'm doing. So we're gonna have some fun with that.
This is the way, and you don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's how that works.
I'm all in on the new Atari because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kidding. I haven't looked at it.
There it is.
All
But-
you need to know is Atari.
Doug,
That's it.
when do you
Sorry.
think that we're gonna get this Turbografx 16 shipped?
From
I mean,
Amazon,
Which one?
Oh,
This one?
Christmas Eve. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh yeah, sure. Rub it in, Mister. I'm gonna buy it from eBay and pay $20 more
See,
for it.
I'm not
This-
like you guys who have
This
to
is what you're looking
pre-order it.
for?
You
Yeah.
pre-order it.
money?
You pre-order it and you don't get it. You don't pre-order it and you get it. Get it?
I wonder if Arcade 1-Up is the one that owns
I could send
that.
you. I could send you this one.
Because that's what everybody was saying about that. No,
Over here.
I'm
There we go.
okay. I don't need it right this second.
Super Mini.
Yeah, it's my little Raspberry Pi Mini.
Can you get those still from Japan? Because I know Japan pulled the
Yes.
Turbografx, but can you get this? Maybe I'll change my pre-order since I do like my Turbografx, and my other thing is still stuck. It's not going anywhere. Here, I'll share my screen. It doesn't have any incriminating information on it, but if you look, it's still sitting where it was on March 29th. But it said, according to the guy that sent it, he said it's on its way to its destination.
For him, it probably is. My PC Engine's been sitting in customs in Japan for a month.
Well, so that's what I wasn't sure, because it does say it cleared customs in the tracking. So I didn't know. Does anybody have an idea? I mean, is anybody else getting things from overseas? Is it going to be sitting here for
I got
2
mine
months?
from Japan April.
This is
I
from
think
the
it got
Ukraine,
delivered.
not that it matters. But
Oh, I have no idea. But mine got shipped DHL from Japan.
Oh, really?
I got it 10 days after I ordered it. It went through customs in Ohio, and it was on my doorstep the next day.
Oh, interesting.
It went fast. It got here real quick.
Well, I'll get mine before Christmas. Like,
Hey, I'm there with you, because I
I'm
didn't,
okay
I
with
didn't
that. That's
cancel
fine.
it. I didn't cancel it.
I think it was only like
Honestly,
$15 more.
Yep.
So
Always
it wasn't
to
like
learn
a
from
huge,
this is
huge amount.
you don't pre-order. People pre-ordered the Arcade 1-Ups. So what happened? People got the Arcade 1-Ups before the pre-order people, right?
That's true.
Just
I got my
saying.
turtle. I got my turtles
Yeah.
2 months before people that pre-ordered it got it.
Right.
I went into
Pre-ordering
Walmart and it was
means
sitting there, and I'm
nothing.
like, do I buy it now or wait? Buy it, because I didn't pre-order it. And then I put it out on social media, and people are like pissed. Like, where did you get that?
Well, it's because
Like, I don't
everybody has
know.
unreal expectations that those pre-orders and those Arcade 1-Up launches are supposed to be like a movie release where everything magically shows up in the store on this day
Yep.
at midnight. I'm like, that's not how this stuff works. That's how DVDs work, CDs work, but that's not how arcade cabinets work.
The only reason I
Yeah.
pre-ordered the Turbografx 16 was because everybody in every article I read was talking it up how it's going to be hard to get. So I thought,
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah,
secure
real
it.
hard.
Yeah,
Got two
now
of
it's
them
really
already.
hard to get.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, they're not wrong.
people are selling them for like $300. I'm like, you guys are nuts. I'm
No,
like,
it's supply and demand. People like Glenn.
yeah, he'll pay it. He probably paid that for his third one. Not his
Uh-huh.
not his first, not his second, but
Yeah,
his third
He didn't
one.
want to tell us what he paid for the first one.
Yeah. Hey,
Actually,
Michael.
the first one was, I think, shipped. It was 130 shipped. The Turbografx was 140 shipped. So I did pay more for them, but I have them. So I'm worth it. It's worth it to me.
Jeez.
Infinity
Now it's still
Gauntlet's
pre-ordered.
coming close. Getting
See if
close.
I can find the link of the one I bought, because mine was only like 110, I think.
So
You ordered it right from, but you ordered it right from Amazon Japan, right?
He got Japan.
Yeah.
But
I
I
didn't
think
do that.
they
Mine was eBay.
I think
I
they
cheated.
pulled it. Didn't they pull it from Japan? Like,
Let
you
me
can't buy it no
see.
more? Somebody want to confirm that? I thought somebody said it the
Yeah,
other
let
day.
me,
It was pulled.
I know everybody was making a run on it when they found out you could get it from Japan and you didn't have to wait. So
Rumor
I know
I
that
saw.
happened.
Rumor I saw was because parts of Japan and China got locked down again, so they pulled it because they didn't think
Can't
they could.
imagine why that is.
I don't. Well, I don't think they were totally over the virus when they opened up. To be quite honest.
How do I send you guys a link? Can I
You
do
send it
it?
to me.
There's
Send
some
it
kind
to
of
me, Patton.
Send it to
What
me.
about
Yeah,
the
send
little-
it to Glenn and he can put it in a group.
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Oh, that's not the right button.
Interesting. I debated about it. I saw a bunch of guys getting it, and I know, Doug, we talked about it that week that we saw that, and you were like, nope, I'm just going to sit and wait for it. And then I kind of got complacent too. I was like, I don't want to go the hassle of canceling it and doing all that.
At this point, I'm just waiting because it's a long-standing joke. Like, I've had it on order forever, so I'm just like, I want to see how long it'll go before
When-
it literally shows up.
Now, so
Mhm.
you probably had it on pre-order the longest. How long have you had it on pre-order?
I'll have to look at the Amazon order, but it's whenever it was officially announced. I mean,
So at least a
that
year,
day.
right?
Yeah.
Is that safe to say? At least a year.
August or September is when it went up, because I pre-ordered mine like right away.
I think mine's even earlier than that. I think I had mine in July. Let me open up my
Or
Amazon.
March? Is it May? It might have been July.
It all goes.
Because I didn't do
blurry.
it right away.
That's crazy.
Hoping to get a $5 gift card out of this.
Actually, Amazon Japan uses some kind of point system that I can't understand because the page doesn't want to translate for me right now. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, but I can't tell. I mean, the page doesn't look like it's saying it's not available.
For every 5,000 yen you spend, you get a full-size body pillow. That's how it works.
Oh,
So how much is 11,550 yen?
3 cents.
110,
Yeah, just basically take a digit off.
110, 115.
$115. Well, this
Something like
well, you
that.
got to take more than that because it's 11,550.
Let me see again. 11,550 yen.
So
11,550.
Where's Glenn? Where are you at with your phone? You're asking of your Android.
Oh, my secretary, you mean?
107.
Yeah, your
US dollars.
secretary.
We want to translate? Want to do a translation?
don't do that because it probably is not going to work.
107 US dollars.
Okay.
There you go. So it's not bad.
Okay, so it's
No.
not as bad as I thought. My Turbografx Mini, I placed the order on July 15th.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
that's
wow,
a
wow.
that's a long time.
Yep.
They're not.
Place my-
They're not showing any signs of that thing coming out anytime soon.
No.
I
So it
placed
says,
mine 5 days ago
December
and it came in 4 days.
31st. So
Mhm.
So we already
Yeah,
have.
literally-
I have the answer of how much yen it is. Somebody in the chat room did it, but I'm not going to tell you
Perfect.
which chat room, Glenn. Let's see if Mr. Google can get it right.
Oh, I have no idea. No idea.
I thought you were going to ask your phone. That's what I was.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I have my
Oh.
my Metal Jesus information. I gotta
Okay.
not lose. You know?
So the Music Lightning in the chat room on YouTube says $107. That's
True
not
Music
bad.
Lightning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's True Music. Yeah, he's one of my guys.
True. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's the chat room's a distance, but
So we know
$107
Patton plays.
not bad.
Patton plays people know math. So we know where to
Yeah.
go for money. Patton
Oh,
plays
numbers
people.
is hard.
They're
Yeah.
the ones that told me about everything. They come to me with all this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I
Hey,
can
there
order
you
it now.
go.
Yeah, I can't.
Let's
find
bring
anything
this
else
up
on my
during the
phone
show
to
when we start the the roundtable and the consoles because
Mhm.
last we talked, nobody on the panel had it yet. Glenn was scrambling, and then I think between 2 weeks ago when we did the show to now, you both have it. We did see like a bunch of other YouTubers come up with it and
Turbografx 16 minis, not COVID-19. Be careful when you say he has it. Got to put a stipulation in there.
Well, no. So that's something else, right? I heard and saw
He's a carrier.
articles. You're not allowed to say that on YouTube now. You could get your channel banned.
If you say it, you have to.
Yeah.
It's another option you have to click as to
Oh, yeah,
how
for
you're talking about
monetization.
it.
Because they're trying to vet good information about it versus bad information. And so if you
Right.
just randomly say it in your show, they could take it down. They have like some kind of scanner that's scanning for that stuff. Somebody told me that. I thought they were kidding. I went and looked it up.
No,
and
I
there's
think
a
they're-
bunch
I
of
think they're
articles
right.
about it. Oh,
Yeah,
there is.
T1000's
right.
man of the boards.
Yeah. So just be careful, everybody. Let that if you're gonna do videos, say this pandemic. You'll be safer that way.
Not panoramic. Different.
Not Planamento either.
Well, you can say Planamento. I need some views. So yeah.
Okay.
Planamento's good.
Pimento?
Hashtag
Yeah.
Planamento.
Some people say I'm a
19.
disease.
Dana Webster in the Facebook chat says, with shipping, her Turbografx was about 115 from Japan. That's what you said, Patton.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
about
115.
what you paid, and you said it took 10 days.
About 10 days from the order date. Yeah, it got here super quick through DHL.
Okay.
Yep. Detail.
Impressive.
And Dana, how long did it take to get yours? About 10 days, or did you do? I think they did do 3-day shipping, but you had to pay. I don't know, like what, $15-20 extra? Somebody said.
I don't know. It was
Okay,
in Japanese.
You can still go to eBay and get it, but with eBay you're going to be paying $40 on top. So figure 130, 140 depending on the system.
I don't want it that bad.
Buy
I
it
do.
premium.
I did.
I bought my original Turbografx for $155. That's where I draw the line, And it came with 2 controllers, and it came with a game, and it came with the 5 turbo tap.
Well, what's funny is the only thing I can really say about the all the minis here is they're not that much mini. I mean,
Yeah,
they're still they're
Especially
pretty
this
close
is-
to the real
yeah.
size, you know.
It's not a small system.
No, you could take this right now and just kind of bash someone in the head. You're going to take them out and say, "I used a mini." Your Honor, it's not a mini, so he couldn't have done it. If it's not the same, you got to acquit, and that's what will happen.
Glenn's getting violent. Must be
This,
time
I
to
mean,
start the
this.
show.
That's a mini. I mean, take a look at that. You take a look,
I'm surprised you
It's
didn't
different.
3D print a TurboGrafx 16 yet, just because you did that one.
Oh, well, see, this is someone else's work. I cannot design this. If someone designed this, I would. I can't design it.
You got to
I
talk
just
to your buddy.
plagiarize it.
You got to talk to your buddy that does
Actually,
it.
you know what? You're right. Actually, you know what? Bad idea.
He might be able to get you a real
Note to
mini.
self.
What if he can get you a real mini and then you stick maybe the chip inside the TurboGrafx is small enough?
Well, that's the only thing that really gets me about these two things. I know people are going to be mad at me about it. Is one, I don't like that they put the 2 controller ports, and everyone's going to hate me on that one. But the original had the 1 port, and I'm totally fine. You can use a regular USB hub to get it. You don't have to buy the Turbo Tap. But to make it look right, I would have preferred the 1, and I would have preferred the open slot there so we can 3D print our own hue cards. Other than that, I mean, I love these things. They're really nice.
Cool.
They really are.
Hey,
You know what's
now
even
you're just
nicer?
splitting
Having one
hairs.
in your hand. Having one in your hand is even nicer, though.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this show on the road. We're 2 minutes late. People are going to be wanting to get this going. So
Wow.
let's get this. Yeah, I know. So we're going to go dark, guys. We'll get it rolling. We'll be right back.
The Retro Buzz starts right after this.
Hey guys, it's Friday, so it's time for the Retro Buzz. And again, we're back, and this guy, he just can't be patient. Glenn Planamento, and he is so happy. No, well, now, Glenn, you got to show the other two. You got to show the other two, because he didn't just buy one, but he got the core.
My PC Engine isn't here yet. It's still stuck in custom, so I only got the 2 right now. But I do have my 3D printed little mini.
So technically you have 4.
Technically 5, but the other one's put away. So remember, I have
counting
5.
them?
You said it yourself.
You
I have 5.
You got to count the real one.
Yeah, that's it wasn't enough that he had to make one.
Yeah.
Right. I know, and we'll make more. That was just the prototype one. I got to make a couple more.
And Doug
Nicer.
Doug and myself are sitting here empty-handed, and we
Nothing. Got nothing. I
Since-
got
That's
open
why you
orders
don't
from Amazon. That's all
pre-order.
we got.
Since what, Doug? July? What did we say in
July 17th.
July?
Yeah. That's when I ordered mine. So
I-
thanks, Glenn, for proving us good e-commerce people wrong and calling us idiots.
That's right. You never pre-order. Pre-order for suckers. You wait. You just do it.
Suckers born
I
every day.
and I thought it was bad that I did it like 2 months ago when I'm talking to Doug in February. He's like, "Yeah, just order it," and then we both
So the funnier part was both of you like, Glenn, you got to do it. You got to pre-order it. Glenn, you got to pre-order it. You got to do it. And here they are.
Yeah. Well, here's another guy, our special guest today. We've got Patton Plays, and
Pat plays.
he actually has one too.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now you didn't go the eBay route, Patton. So tell everybody how you got yours.
Right. I just went to Amazon Japan, which actually Rick67, one of the guys on my Discord, he's a big supporter of the channel, told me, hey, people are getting theirs from Amazon Japan. So I went there, signed up for it, and I got it really quick, very fast.
Yeah, you said what, within 10 days, and I still got something from the Ukraine.
10 days. I just looked it up. I think it was March 28th was the order. No, I'm sorry, March 20th, and it got to my front doorstep April 2nd.
Wow.
So very fast. Yeah.
So we're going to
Good
talk
stuff.
about this a little bit as the show progresses, but I know, Glenn, you have some news stuff. You have 3 new news articles that you want to go over real quick. We've got some news that we want to talk about. So I'm going to flip it over to you.
Well, only maybe 2 are news articles and one to Glenn rant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to make a graphic for that.
The soapbox.
Right. So one of the things is we have the official At Games fan page. We get close to 3,000 subs on there, And when we do hit 3,000 subs, At Games is going to have some giveaways. I think they'll give away 2 Blast units and 1 of the Legends consoles. Not the Legends Ultimate, one of the small little Legends plugins. Flashback. Thank you very much. So that's one of the things that's coming up. So if you're not a member currently of the official At Games Global fan page, please join us. We have P-Dubs, we have me, Time Plays, everyone's on there. Come join us, come subscribe, and maybe you could be one of the lucky winners. We're getting very close. Another news thing is really from a company called Terra Onion. And now, for people who don't know Terra Onion, they manufacture some very high quality, but also not very cheap add-ons for your classic consoles. They came out with a add-on for the Sega Genesis that'll let you play Sega CD games and all the ROMs. They came out with one for the Turbografx 16 PC Engine that plugs into the back that lets you play the original games plus play the ISOs. Again, they're about $300 a piece. They're not cheap, but they do go out of stock quite often, but they're very high quality. But they just announced today something new. For people who have a Dreamcast or a Sega Saturn, there are currently other ways to get it to play ROMs off of an SD card, but they're coming out with one that's a dual mode, meaning that you could drop it into a Dreamcast or you could drop it into a Sega Saturn. You can use an SD card or you can use, I believe, a SATA drive, like a SSD. It's taking pre-orders right now, but again, I already told you what happens when people do pre-orders, just saying. But I will say that Terra Onion does make some high-quality stuff. They're always saying you get what you pay for, and they do come out with very high-quality stuff. Now, what they do is their technology is mostly based on fully programmable gate arrays, FPGAs. So even when they release it, if there is something buggy or glitchy, they can update the code. And again, this is not emulation. An FPGA is recreation. So they're basically making chips that emulate the proper parts of the equipment. So I have high hopes for what they're coming out with for their Dreamcast and the Saturn. But I will say that it's not the cheapest thing out there, and you can go and get clone drives now, like EverDrive clones on eBay from China that do most of the same stuff. But again, usually Terra Onion is usually you're talking about your Hyundai Elantra versus going towards your Elon Musk Tesla car, but you're paying for it. I think there was
Premium
3 things.
prices for a
Yeah,
premium
the last right, exactly. And the last one is just a rant. It's not even a really bad rant. Metal Jesus, I love Metal Jesus. I don't talk to him a lot, but when he actually responds to my messages, I'm always like, thank you. But he did have a video today talking about all the minis, because he got his, the Turbografx 16 mini, and he was rating all the minis. And one thing he said there was just incorrect, and I have to correct him because it has to do with my fellow Atari company. So he actually said today that Nintendo with the NES Classic kicked off all these minis, and that's completely not true. Actually, the Atari Mini, even before At Games got involved, 2004 was the original Atari Flashback Mini. It was Mini before they called it the Mini. So they were well before the curve. Right, this is the video right here. And I could agree with everything he pretty much said here, except for the NES Classic did not start it. Maybe it made it more popular. That's possible. Nintendo seems to, throw the Nintendo name brand in something, it kind of shoots it up. Right now, Atari with... to be quite honest, the stupid things they've been doing as of late, I can't blame people for not saying Atari was the first with it. But I'm really disappointed in the current Atari. And again, I said it in the pre-show. To me, the current Atari is the Kathleen Kennedy of companies. That's it. Don't my rant.
That's it. That's the best you can do.
Man.
Well, I don't want to tell you. It's Pat and Plays. I want to take up the whole episode with my rant. I'll do it.
So now that he's got that out of his system,
I do.
and until somebody brings up Star Wars in the post show, one of the other things that I think we should bring up is about the Nintendo Switch, right? I was talking with you guys in pre-show a little bit about it. Back in January, Nintendo came out and said no new hardware. We're not planning on doing this. When Xbox and Sony said we're bringing new consoles, the recent update, there was a version 10 for the Switch that came out, and we've seen a lot of them not be around, right? You can go to the store, you can't find them. Well, there was an article that came out that leaked that Nintendo in the update found that there was like a dual screen Pro model, to your comment, Doug, earlier, that the Pro model, which I don't know how much I believe of that, because it's like having 2 Switches at the same time. You might as well just buy 2. So the price is going to reflect that. But there is a new model coming, and that would kind of explain the lack of switches that you can buy right now. Some were saying that they're trying to empty out the current stock. Maybe it's just a bump up. Maybe it's, a little bit better graphics. Maybe it's a little bit better battery power. I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Do you think there's some truth to this, or do you think, we'll start with Doug. What do you think that? You think Nintendo's trying to slip that in there because of the economics and how everything is?
It seems to me like a super strange choice if they do go with like a dual screen thing, because that's essentially what the 3DS was, and that's what they discontinued to kind of go in favor of the Switch, because the Switch essentially did everything the 3DS does, even better. It's portable. It's got a beautiful screen and everything. You don't need two screens. You've got a nice wide play field and everything. So I'd be really perplexed to see them go back to having dual screens. I wouldn't be surprised to see them have an upgraded, beefier version of the Switch for those hardcore enthusiasts that maybe need a little more power in their games. But I don't know. I'm going to take all this with a grain of salt and take it as speculation, because Nintendo typically is just very, very, very tight-lipped about everything and anything they do. So I'd be very shocked to see something like this, something this weighty as far as their product development cycles, being able to get out in the open like that without them knowing or allowing it, because they're notorious for shutting people down that leak, share any kind of information. So the fact that somebody's not getting black bagged and thrown in a van right now over that information kind of makes me think that maybe it's not as serious, or at least the details aren't exactly as specific as what that article entailed.
Unless somebody did get black bagged and thrown around somewhere and we just don't know about it.
Very true. Very true.
That could be.
They're pretty good at that.
Patton, do you agree? Do you agree with that? Do you think we're going to see a new one, or do you think that we already saw the new one for this year?
Are you talking about the Lite? Because actually, my daughter has the Switch, the original Switch that came out. My son has the Switch Lite.
So there was two switches that connected to TV. They had the original one that my son has as well. Then they came out with an all red box that had better battery performance. I don't know if everybody saw that, but I think it also had a few other tweaks to it, a little bit faster. That's the one that everybody's selling for $450 right now, but it was the same price, and they kind of pushed away that original release model. So the original release model box was kind of white in the middle with the sides like the Switch. Now the new one it's an all red box. Plus that.
Yeah,
plus
no,
the light.
I don't know too much about it, but I don't think the Lite can connect to the TV.
Correct.
But what you were talking about, the dual screens, is that from some kind of official source, or is that just like talk about somewhere? Because it wasn't the whole reason, or at least from what I remember, with the DS, the 3DS, it wasn't a gimmick per se, but like wasn't that because one of the screens was a touch screen? But isn't the Switch screen already a touch screen? So
yeah,
I don't really get the whole reason behind a dual screen, especially when the screen on the Switch is really great and it's already a touch screen. So what's the benefit to them having a dual screen system?
It's a step backwards if you go to a dual screen system.
Yeah.
Currently,
one of our buddies, RGT85, actually posted a video as well where they actually showed kind of like that dual screen purpose, like with doing it. So go check out his video and you can kind of see what I guess the thought is behind it. Again, I don't know, to your question about is it an official source? There's a lot of people that are unofficial sources that are posting, but there was a few.
Not official, but reliable source. Is it a reliable source, or is it like Kotaku?
No, well,
no.
But they did say that Nintendo semi-confirmed / confirmed it. So I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to move forward, they should have just made one with 3 screens, triple screen, Switch, or a screen on the back. That way you can.
It's the Gillette razor war all over again.
Is a better system,
more
right?
razors, more blades.
Yeah, exactly. You need 5 screens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Glenn probably has every single one: the first iteration, the second iteration, and probably the Lite. So, what's your take?
Well, for me, Nintendo is definitely known as a company that does try to innovate. I mean, of all the new companies out there, Nintendo's the only one I can really think of that actually tries new things, tries to do things differently, try to see what sticks. So I think it's possible. I don't think having a secondary screen, right? Yeah, I love the Virtual Boy. I got 3 of them.
Me too, actually. I like it a lot.
It's great. That's another machine, again, I'm just giving a tangent, another machine that too many people just said was bad and people just bought into. But in any case, we'll talk about that another time. But the point is Nintendo is known for some innovations. And I think having a secondary screen, depending what they're using it for, could actually be good. I mean, the 3DS, the DS, it was a nice design. I mean, yes, one was a touch screen, but having the two screens, having your game playing one and having your maps like in a Zelda game, there's some things that are just better than having it all in one single spot. So I think it's possible. Maybe Nintendo was kind of dropping a seed, and then all this stuff's been happening that maybe things get pushed back. That's my personal opinion. I do think that what's going on currently in the world is going to throw a lot of things out of whack. Look at the movie. I just watched a video today about AMC and these movies and how some films like Trolls, which is no loss here, but right to streaming, and they're thinking that might be something that goes down the pipe. So there is huge shifts in the industry, not just in the gaming world, in everything. So companies are certain things are going to come off the table for a while. They may not see now till 2021 because of it. So who knows? Do I think it's possible? I do. Do I think it's going to come out this year? I don't.
So for anybody that's holding out, like myself, for a new one, because I was going to get the new updated one with the red box when it comes back at normal price for normal people around, May, June.
You wanna play
Yours,
that
what's
Glenn
that?
game? I said, you don't want to play that Glenn game where you buy it for a premium off eBay?
No, I'm sticking with you on this. I'm gonna wait. I'm a patient man. I will wait for it for the most part. Yeah, look at this guy. Like I said, he's probably got 3 or 4 of them. But I do want it to connect to the TV. Otherwise, I'd probably get one of the Switch lights. I want to have it down here in the room. So I was just curious. I didn't know what everybody's thoughts were on that. But
The thing with Nintendo also is that, they're, I mean, I know you guys joke about like Android and Apple, but they're kind of like the Apple of the
We're
video
not
game
joking.
world.
We're not joking.
we're not joking.
I wish you were joking. No, but they're kind of like the Apple of the video game world, where like they can put anything out except for the Virtual Boy at the time, and people will buy it. I mean, they don't have to follow any kind of schedule that the other companies do. They can release it. They could do a March release and it'll do great.
You're right.
And like I said, they actually are the only of the main 3 players that innovate and try to do something new, even if it's, even if they think it might not, go well, they'll still try something new. And I really respect Nintendo beyond that, because Sony and Microsoft, I still have a PS3. I haven't gone anywhere past that. But the most, the upgrades they do with theirs, like graphics, power, processor, they don't try anything new. Here's a controller, here's a system, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Nintendo is known for being around for so long, and they try new things, and that's why they're in my opinion, at least fan wise, they're on top. They may not always sell more than Sony or Microsoft, but Nintendo is well known way more than Sony and Microsoft.
Right. And that's how Atari was. I got to say Atari again.
I was just going to say
when it started. When it started, because that's what Atari was. Atari innovated controllers, different chipsets. That's what they did. Then Warner bought them and it fell apart. But Nintendo's been consistently, since they came on the market with the NES, they put Robin there to make it look like a toy, just to get people to get them in the stores. And of course, I bought that launch day again. TSW, TSW back in the day.
Even the glove, but
right. Well, the glove wasn't Nintendo. That was Mattel. But the fact is that Nintendo does try things. What Pat said a second ago, I agree with. The Xbox line and the PlayStation line, they're basically just sticking a PC in a box, better graphics and power, which is fine. When they had to connect, that was, I thought, a good trend to go with. And then with the PlayStation had the globes, whatever they were called, those hand things. They had
the Move PlayStation.
Right. So they were trying, and then they just gave up on it. They just flat out stopped it. So Nintendo is still a company that will, whether it be a platform game-wise, something new, or hardware, they will at least give it a try. If it takes off, a lot of times they'll stick with it and try, like they did with the Wii U, which I think was kind of dumb. They had the Wii.
But
the
that
Wii
was
U
the
had
test
really
for the Switch.
There was no place for it.
Yeah.
There was really no place for it.
That was the beta for Switch. Because I got the
It
Wii U,
was.
and I was like,
it was.
This needs to be portable, where I can sit in my car or on a plane and play this.
And they just
Well, you know what? It was
couldn't
still
get there
okay
with
for what it
prices
was.
yet at that point.
Right. The range at the house was too limited. My son, if we went like one room out, it stopped. It just disconnected, stopped working. If they could have got the range a little bit further in the house, it would have been better.
PlayStation
But
had
like,
that though with the Vita. I was able to sit
Mhm.
3 floors up and I played my PS3. That was one of the reasons I bought it. It wasn't for the games in the beginning. It was so I could remotely play because at the time I didn't have the room and I didn't have all stuff set up. So if the kids were doing something, I could sit there and play it on there.
But props to Nintendo. I mean, they found a way to sell people cardboard this year or the last year and a half.
I still have not.
I love the Labo stuff. The
Yeah.
VR Labo stuff. I got that for my daughter for Christmas. I love it. Even though it's taken me like 24 hours to put all of it together, like combined, it's just cardboard. I mean, it's decent quality.
Wait. We gotta ask Patton. We gotta ask Doug. How many of the sets did you buy? And be honest.
I bought one. I bought the robot kit. Hey, I'm a Lego nerd, so
No, that's cool.
That sounded right up my alley. I was like, sweet. But when I got it, then I was like, I just bought some cardboard and this backpack.
$100 cardboard.
Yeah, $100 cardboard, and this backpack's not really fitting my adult-sized man shoulders, and I probably should have rethought this. That was
and it
my
takes forever
takeaway.
to put just
So
one
Doug,
together. Like
did
the
you
goggles,
watch?
it's like an
Did
hour.
you watch
or
the Lego
something.
Masters?
Oh, absolutely, religiously. That's like the only reality TV that I watch.
Wow.
Sorry, Patton. I talked over you. I gotta learn to zip my lips sometime. Patton, please.
Oh,
Please.
No, I was just saying, like it takes a long time. And I remember when I was putting some of these together for the VR set, I was like, the way they fold together. I mean, it's really like impressive. Like I figured they had some kind of NASA. Well, NASA's not Japan. Anyway, some kind of engineers who set all this stuff up because I'm thinking like this folded this way. Like there's no way this is going to turn it into a freaking bird. And look at that, I just made a goose. It took me 5 hours, but I made a goose.
They called Takara Tomy, the people that made Transformers, and like, hey, we want to make Transformers out of cardboard. How do we do it? And they're like, we'll send over the engineers.
Oh, there you go.
Cardboard in disguise.
Origami.
$100 out of your pocket.
So I got a really good score this week. I shared with
You're
you guys
married,
a couple. What's that?
You're already married. What are you talking about?
Well, besides that, I mentioned to you guys a site that I quite frequent it for retro consoles, and I managed to score this complete in box with all the mini pamphlets, all the warranty cards, everything. The box you can see is in like mint shape.
Condition. Yeah, especially we're going to be an all-black console. Yeah, all-black box. Yeah,
I showed Doug. I said, "Do you think I got a deal?" And Doug's like, "You got a steal."
Oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, I was super
Actually,
jealous.
all the ones you've gotten at a steal price. Everything you've gotten so far.
So I didn't realize this because I'll be honest, because I don't know nothing. Okay, I didn't have this growing up. My brother did. I was a Sega guy. I had this Master System, the Sega Genesis, but the little door on the top, which I know what it is for now, the expanded memory, this came with it. It has the little red expanded memory, and those things are going up in price.
Yeah.
They're like $40-$50. So on top of this, I not only got the game, the controller, the system, all the pamphlets, the box for $160 out the door.
Oh,
great deal.
That's a very good deal.
That's why
it's a great game too. Pod Racer is literally one of the best in 64 games, in my opinion. I know it's getting like a remake. I think it's supposed to come out in May for the PlayStation 4, so I'm excited to get that.
So speaking of the PlayStation, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I happened to stumble upon that Sony actually released the price of the new PlayStation 5. Did you guys happen to see that?
I hadn't. I heard murmurings of what it was.
$400.
That's it. Like $399.99.
$400. There's no detail on if there's going to be different versions, if there's going to be different teraflops and all that good stuff. But rumor is that Xbox is going to be $500, and they think that Sony's purposely undercutting them because they want to sell more units. And I'm kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are.
Yeah. Well, they priced themselves out initially when they did the PlayStation 3 because I think it was the first console that was $499, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And then Xbox came out and said, "No, we're not doing no $500." So they got their legs cut out from them. And then PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, I think it was kind of reversed. Sony did this thing where it said, "Hey, we're going to lose money in the beginning of it. Hopefully, sell some more consoles, but hopefully, it makes up in the long run." So it looks like they're probably going to revisit that same strategy just to kind of get out in front of Microsoft, because the specs wise, technically the new Microsoft, what is it, X? I forget what the new console's called. The new Microsoft console, it's technically in all aspects and specs better than this PlayStation 5. So to get out in front of that, you got to take away price or have some exclusive games. And if we don't know anything about the exclusive games yet, you
but
got to. But we do. Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, I was going to add to that because I
Yeah.
want you to keep going with that. So my source also told me that the first year to 2 years, PlayStation will have no exclusive games that you can't get on the PlayStation 4.
Well, that sucks.
So do you keep it? Do you upgrade? Do you get it first? Because a lot of people are saying maybe you just stick with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox. I heard a similar rumor that they're going to do the same thing. Maybe you want it because Xbox dropped the price of their Pro version.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact my rumor that I heard was correct because RGT85 also said that in one of his videos. He's thinking about going out and buying the Xbox Pro because the same thing, the first year to 2 years, and I don't know if it's due to the pandemic that's going on, that there's not going to be any exclusive titles for the Xbox X, I think you called it, right? Is that
I just remember it was called Project Scarlet. I forget what the official name is. Like I said, I've been so not motivated about this new generation of PlayStation 5 and new X.
I'm with you.
Just because like everything I was hoping, all like the rumors were like PlayStation 5 was going to be backwards compatible from PlayStation 1 all the way to 4. I was like, you can have all my money if you do that. And then they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So
they're not doing that. Oh
no, like as soon as I heard that took the wind out of my sails. Then Xbox are like, we're giving you a computer and we're calling it a game console, even though we're selling you a computer tower. And I'm like,
yeah, I was wondering about that because it looks exactly like a PC tower. So, like, what? I don't know. Maybe Xbox people can explain it better. But okay, so you got Microsoft, the Xbox, and then you got your PC, which usually runs off Windows unless you got an Apple computer. But what is
Linux.
the benefit? And Linux, yes. What is the benefit to having an Xbox over a PC when most of the games that come out for the Xbox come out for the PC?
Right.
I've only recently gotten into PC gaming because I only recently had a PC that could actually play modern games. So I've never been a PC gamer, but I never really understood why, someone will get an Xbox when eventually those titles are going to go on your PC, which may run them better on that, on that platform. So, except now, I think with the hardware that's on the newest Xbox, I don't know its name. It's cheap. Wouldn't it be cheaper to get the Xbox than a newer PC for like $1,000 or something? Like the power is there, right? But beyond that, I mean, why get one over a PC?
Well, my only question is, do these new consoles even have media storage? Are they just going with downloadable content? Do we know?
You mean like,
I think I was looking at the Xbox. I don't think it had a DVD drive or anything in it. No,
I hope
myself,
not.
if it does not have that, I wouldn't touch it with a.
I was about to say, I cringe. If you go all digital, nope, no, thank you. I don't care.
Yeah,
you can sell it to me for $15, and it's going to be a paperweight. I'm not doing all digital, physical media or nothing.
But could you guys imagine, because the new one's probably going to come out standard 4K, right? I mean, it might have a step up for 8K. Not that we're there yet, but that's, at least in the video world where I'm at, that's the trend right now. 8K. They're talking about 8K TVs around Christmas time this year that are going to be more prominent than like we see 4K TVs. You'll be able to pick one up for $200-$300. That's what scares me, because think about the gigabytes and terabytes of games that you have to download.
Oh, absolutely.
People's internet connection, it'll take them a week to download one game.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just bought Final Fantasy VII Remake for my PlayStation 4, put it in, and it's like a 45-minute load time just to get the game started. I'm like, well, this is awesome.
They're all putting their bets into G5, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
That's what, if that G5 comes and does what they say it's going to do, that won't be a problem.
Right.
But you're going to pay for it. G5 is not going to be the same price as your cable company now. And Doug's already got the best quality cable now. He probably wouldn't want G5.
So I don't know, Doug, if you heard this, but somebody, Nacho Libre in the chat room, he wants to know if the rumor is true with the PS5 being backwards compatible, all the way back to version 1. I did hear a rumor about that, but it's a rumor. It's not necessarily. What do you?
Last I heard, the official thing was it was only going to be backwards compatible to PS4, and that was only partial. It wasn't like all.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
So, like,
everyone
the
was hoping it was like PlayStation 1 all the way through, and that's what I was excited for because you could sell that thing to me $4,000 and I'll buy it. Because you give me that big of a library to be able to play on one device, absolutely. But
Right.
apparently that's not the case.
Wow. Eesh.
I'd love to be wrong. Hopefully something comes out tomorrow and says Doug's an idiot. 135 plays it all.
are the PS4s
Well,
backwards
the thing
compatible?
too, though. Well, but Pat, even what you're saying right there, most people buy Xbox or PlayStation probably also have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 already. So, I mean, me, no. I have an Xbox and I have a PS2. And I have no games for the PS2, which have PS2. But most of the people have backward compatible anyway. I mean, they already have their old systems, do they not? I mean, it's almost like Yankees and Mets or the Giants and the Jets. You stick with your team and you already have all the machines that go with it.
True.
Sometimes. Well, like the PS3. Okay, I got the PS3. I have a PS2, but I got rid of my PS1 a long time ago because my PS2 can play PS1 games. My PS3 can play PS1 games. So I got rid of the PS1. But it wasn't really a selling point for me. It was for the PS2. I like that the PS2 could play PS1 games. But when I got the PS3, it wasn't because I wanted to play my PS1 games on it. But to be able to do that, I mean, even if it's in a digital format, do they allow digital PS1 or PS2 games on PS4? Do they do any of that older stuff?
Yeah, you can buy them through the PlayStation Store and do it that way.
All right. It would be nice to have something you can play your physical media
Yeah.
on, though.
Why buy it once? You can buy it twice.
Oh yeah, I mean Nintendo, they're pros of that. How many times have we bought old Nintendo games through the eShop?
Oh, don't remind me.
More on a mini.
I have it on.
That too.
So we're gonna get into what Patton does. He mentioned the mini, but one thing, like Doug just said about how many, like I bought the Legend of Zelda, the original Nintendo version, just for my 3DS because I wanted to have it portable. Even though I have it on my PC, I have it on CoinOps, I have it on my Act Games, I have it on, you know,
on everything. Yeah.
Animal Crossing, I think, has a version of it.
Oh, are you serious?
Not the new one, but like one on 3DS. I think, can't you find like little Nintendo cartridges in the game or something? And one of them you can find is the original Legend of Zelda, and you can play it in Animal Crossing.
They get
One
you
of 'em.
coming and going. They really want you to remember that classic.
I wouldn't
Well, again,
mind
the games are good, so people want to replay them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. They get you.
I just played Super Mario Brothers today, just because I had my son.
It's awesome.
I do homeschooling with my kids. So my son, who's 5, who hasn't really started kindergarten yet, I've been playing the Sesame Street games with him in Nintendo. I put it on my NES Classic, and so he does the Sesame Street, ABC 1, 2, 3 games. And when we were taking a break, I started up Mario Brothers just because I felt like playing Mario Brothers.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's my son's first real game was Mario Brothers. Playing it on a tablet though with a little Bluetooth controller. I mean,
either way, raise
that
them
was
right.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, actually, it might have been. No, it was Mario Brothers. That was the first game he played. It wasn't an Atari game. I didn't torture him with that.
Was it an Apple tablet? Because it
You
worked.
didn't give me ET on Atari?
Nope, it was good old Android version 3, an Asus tablet.
Here we go. So you guys all remember, I don't know, about 10 episodes ago when I got my Super Nintendo Mini, and I started complaining because of the cabling and everything that all these other videos were telling you about, and Hackchi and all this other stuff. I'm watching these videos of well-known YouTubers that are telling me, get this version, do this, get this cable. I ended up, Patton, what did I tell you? I bought like 8 different cables and none of them worked. And you're like, well, send me screenshots and stuff of this. So before that, you must have tuned into one of these shows. You saw it. He emails me out of the kindness of his heart. He says, I'll help you out. He says, let's figure this out. Here I find out I'm running the wrong version of Hackchi, which is why the stupid cable wasn't working, right? So he ends up telling me this, get it working and everything. I said, dude, you need to come on the show. I said, you need to come on here and talk to everyone. And I watched his
only
videos.
Took 10 episodes later. Took 10 episodes.
Yeah, well, his schedule didn't
though.
yeah. Well, his schedule didn't line up. So, but anyways, he's here. So, Patton, why don't you tell everybody that may not know you, if they were like me and lived under a rock, about what kind of videos you're doing right now and your transition, because you're kind of like me in this sense where I wanted to keep the minis, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe let's go deeper.
Yeah, mainly on my channel, When I first started it, I specialized in modding all the mini systems in Nintendo. I think the SNES Classic was just coming out when I started making the videos. And literally the only reason I started everything, it wasn't to have a channel. It was because somebody wanted a video, how do I do this, on, what was it, GBA Temp. It was the GBA Temp forums where the new Hatchie was coming out. And, there were a lot of written guides, but somebody said, I do a lot better if someone would make a video. So I just hooked up my PC real quick. I did a real quick little tutorial, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's great. Well, what about adding new games?" So I did another one, and now I just kept doing more and more, and it ended up, growing the channel to where it's at now. But yeah, I still do the mini stuff. I don't do as much, just because it's been out. It's almost 3 years now. I think these systems have been out. I think it's a little over 3 years. So there's only so much you can keep telling people how to do it before everybody knows how to do it. There's no more to teach. Until like a new mini system comes out. So like, when the Genesis came out, more tutorials came out. Once the Turbografx 16 is out, more tutorials will come out for that. But the content, slows down. So, I like to try and find different things to talk about. Like, I started game hunting for the original stuff. So I get, original Nintendo, Super Nintendo games, Genesis, and I got the new Legends Arcade Ultimate, which I love so freaking much. So I've been trying to do a couple videos on that, a live stream on that. So I'm spread out a little bit, but I still, the minis still are very, very special to me. And although the content's slowing down, I'm moving to other stuff. I still love working with them, and my kids love the minis. They kind of get the original, the physical media, but the minis are just like so much easier for them to use. Especially, they're not used to the putting in games and powering on. It's just turn it on. It's like the game and play. So it's really awesome for the kids. They love it. It's a really good way for them to get into those older games, even though they're hard as nails for them. They don't get why they can't just keep playing after they die a few times.
That's a good idea. Maybe after I get all the original consoles, I'll take the other ones up to my 7-year-old's room and say, "Here you go. You got a bunch of new mini consoles that you could play, and then it'll make some room down here for me." I like that idea. That's smart thinking.
And that way they're not handling your expensive, original, cartridges and stuff like that.
No, it's funny you say that, because that with the Saturn, Glenn, you and I were talking about, that's why you helped me, hack that up, because I said to Glenn, I'm like, I don't want my 7-year-old handling these. I mean, you're paying $50 like what they normally cost years ago. And like Glenn's like, they're not going to last forever. So making copies of them, this way, if he puts in the copy and it scratches, I'll copy another one, Mm-hmm. That's my biggest fear. Even I've been taking the Nintendo 64 games out of their box, because I bought them complete in the boxes. Not perfect. It's not gradable. But just leaving the game sit so they're not opening and closing the boxes all the time and ruining the cardboard. I mean,
ripping the ends off those boxes.
Yeah. I know they're not perfect, but I'm trying to preserve it as best as I can. It's just fun.
And stuff like that's what I've been getting into. Like when the minis came out, it was a big nostalgia trip for me. Seeing a actual little Nintendo, with the controller, the original controller, pretty much the original controller. Brought back a ton, nostalgia just hit me hard. And then when I started going to these like actual retro game stores, I was like, it's a different feeling than when using the minis. And a lot of people don't, not disagree with it, but they don't understand it either, because they weren't around for the original games, or they don't see the point. Why are you spending, $15 on a game when that's half the price of a PlayStation Classic, when you can get all these games and better games. But it's just a feeling. It's hard to explain, what that feeling brings to have an original cartridge in your hand and putting it in a system and powering it on. It's just something different.
This is what you tell them.
We were talking about that before. Because there's all these multi-carts, and I generally want the hardware and I buy a multi-cart, but there is an intangible feeling of having that original game and putting it in the cartridge or sliding it into the Nintendo. It's just a different feeling, and it's hard to explain. And I think it has something to do with nostalgia of putting the game in there, because today you can play them on a Raspberry Pi. You can play them on your PC. Mm-hmm. You can buy a multi-cart, put 4,000 games on one cartridge, never take it out. but it's just something weird about putting that original game in and seeing it fired up. It's weird, but you're right.
That's what I was gonna say. You tell everybody to go look at Glenn's room and go look at Metal Jesus Rocks, and you'll understand why we all want the physical. Just
Yes, it's very, and I haven't bought an original physical cartridge or anything in. It's been close to 20 years now. So when I actually had one in my hand, I was like, oh, this is something different. So like I almost got like addicted to it. Not addicted, but I just wanted to keep going and keep going. And the only thing that I'm kind of not really going to get into, I don't think I'm going to get original consoles. I might, but it might be like way later. So like I'm kind of trying more for the clone console route.
give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, I know. But I did try. I just did a review on the what is it, the Classic 2 HD, and I thought, and I said this in the review, I thought I was more casual about the games, but as soon as I heard how those games sounded with that system, I'm like, I can't do this. Like even I just couldn't do it. So I think you guys were talking about the FPGA before. Like I think, yeah, the Mister or what is it, the Retro USB AVS or the analog systems. I think those are all FPGA systems. I think I'm gonna have to put some dough in and actually go with the hardcore route on those.
Well, I think we talked about that again before. I think that is the ultimate future for all these. The original machines are going to start breaking down, and we're going to need people to recreate them this way.
Yeah, that was another one of the reasons I didn't want to get like an original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, because they will start breaking down. I mean, they've been out how long? Over 30 years now. Mm-hmm. That's 30-year-old tech. That's a very old time, and eventually there's not going to be anything you can do to that until you turn into like a Frankenstein. And at that point, it's not going to be an original Nintendo anymore. You're going to make so many adaptations to it to try and make it work that you've completely changed the system.
Well, I'll definitely say, and you bet me on this one, that the old Atari, the old Nintendos, up until like the SNES or even N64 probably, the Turbografx 16, the Sega Genesis, they're going to well outlast the Xboxes and the PlayStation 4s and 5s because those new machines, they just burn out just looking at them. These old machines, they lasted. The old Atari, that was made in 1977. They still work. The Sega Master Systems, they still work. Sega Genesis, they work. The technology is a little bit simpler. They run cooler. These new high-tech machines you're spending hundreds of dollars on die in 6 months.
Yeah, what was it? The Xbox 360 had a 10% failure rate, which was like at the time one of the highest electronic failure rates in human history of any device, let alone a game device.
I don't know about that. I'm going to bring up the Coleco Atom on that one. That was
but all right. How many people bought the Coleco Atom versus how many people
a lot. The problem is the return rate was like 99%. So a lot of people bought it and they all went back, and then Coleco went bye.
Yeah. But to your point, Glenn, stuff was made better back then than it is now. Like the old Nokia cell phones that you could run over with a tank and still call and play Snake on it 5 minutes later, versus your iPhone. If you sneeze, you break the glass. So.
That's right, ladies. Remember that. The older is the better. Okay, just saying.
It's like a fine wine, aged to perfection.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts with electronics. I wouldn't want a Nokia today.
That's that was the scary part when I started thinking about buying these consoles. Was I buy all this stuff and then let's say the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo 64 just dies on me, then what? But everything so far is retaining its value. Actually, the value is going up on certain things. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's kind of like how I was with the arcade games from Arcade 1-Up. I just kept building and building until I ran out of room, and now it's like I want to collect something that works. And stuff that I didn't have as a kid. I mean, Doug, we talked about this on previous episodes. Like, I didn't have a Nintendo 64 as a kid. My brother did, and when we were young kids, it's like, you're not touching it. It's my system. So I didn't really get to play it. So last night I was playing it. My wife actually helped me through the first 2 levels of Mario because I didn't understand that. I was just trying to beat the level. I didn't understand that you had to go through and get the different stars and get, it's because I never had it, Yeah,
you're playing it like an old Mario. You're just like,
I'm looking for warp zones and, and stuff. And apparently there is some. But Yeah, so last night I played. I got 12 stars in the first 2 levels, and then she's telling me to go into Boo's Castle, and I'm getting lost in there, and I was getting frustrated, and I'm going, but it's cool because it's a new memory being made, right? So I can look back when I have grandkids and say, me and your grandma used to sit here and play this, and it just sounds funny now, but it's just my son come down, he wants to play it like it's like a new world to him. Like he's just,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
he's all about Fortnite, don't get me wrong, but he's all about this too. Like he wants to, like, Dad, what kind of games can you get for this? I mean, that's what he's asking.
Some
Like,
good ones.
you know.
Pull up a chair, son. Let me tell you a little thing called Rainbow Road.
That's funny you mentioned that because I hooked up what was it, one of the blasts, the Atari blasts, the one with the twisting controllers, the paddle controllers, and there's a game on there called Save Mary, and it's just a game where you lower some boxes down onto a platform, and this girl at the bottom, she climbs up. My 8-year-old at the time loved that game. She couldn't get enough of it, and it was that one in like Cannonball, I think, where you shoot a guy and you're trying to shoot him through the ring. Every time or through into a basket or something, and if you miss, he crumbles down. And she was cracking up, and we played Pong for like an hour. It was insane. These kids love these older games.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that they've embraced it like they did, and hear your kids do it. And I don't know. One thing that kind of my son asked me the other day was, we went to the store and you were talking about this consoles that play the multiple games, like you can get one for the Retrons and stuff. And my son was like, so how comes they don't have one for a Turbografx 16? And I was kind of like,
They got one,
that's
as
interesting.
far as I know.
Do they have one?
Yeah, the Retro Freak. It's an emulation clone console. It'll play Turbografx 16. What are the cards? You got the Hue card,
Yeah, the Hue cards.
Supergraphics. There's 3 kinds of cards, right, Glenn?
Yeah, you have the PC Engine, which is also the Turbografx, and the Core graphics. Then there's the Supergraphics, and then you have CD-ROM. So you have 2 different types of cards, and then the CD. With the CD, you have the regular, then you have the arcade card, and you got the enhanced card. So there's like 3 different of those.
And it'll play it?
I think it's the Retro Freak will play the card types. And then the Polymega, which I don't know if did it just come out or it's coming out.
It's soon. Coming out.
Okay, that can play
CDs
the
right now.
Yeah, and the old Turbografx games with the add-on. So that's also an emulation one. So it doesn't actually play, the things that just dumps the ROM, plays it from the system.
And this is the part where Glenn tells us he has 3 on pre-order or 3 ordered, and he's got 5 in the back.
No, that one doesn't interest me at all. The Polymega does not interest me at all. I know a lot of people are excited about it. It doesn't interest me at all. It's basically an emulation box. I mean, I have no interest in those myself. I want the original hardware, or to use a PC, Raspberry Pi at that point, and 3D print a case. I don't have any interest in those type of machines at all. It doesn't even look that attractive to me. I know I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube, and apparently it's got very good Sega Saturn emulation coming out from the get-go. PlayStation emulation good at the get-go. It's got a lot of themes that are coming out for it, but I myself have no interest in it at all.
But
only system with Sega Saturn emulation, I think.
But
right. Sega Saturn.
But what about like if you have an original console and you didn't want to play it and you wanted to, keep its life, and you could buy not an emulated, but one of those multiple input boxes like we're talking about with the Retron to play the Hue cards. I mean, you said a couple weeks ago that even if you put the ROMs on one of the Mega Drives or whatever,
right,
and put it in there, that it would play just like the original game.
Right.
So wouldn't you want to do something like that to preserve your console and then just buy
no.
No?
Nope. I would at that no. If I can if I can use a flash card in original hardware, I'm cool with that. To me, that's cool. After that, I'll just use a ROM and emulation on a PC.
Don't you have like 50 consoles, so you'll never run out of they'll never go bad, because when one goes bad, you just hook up the next one.
Yeah, he does, but normal people don't.
Yes.
He does, but
also,
normal people
another
don't.
thing, though, really, honestly, is the older machines, when they do break, generally they're easy to fix. Once you start getting to maybe the Super Nintendo, not as much. But before that, unless the actual chip is fried, it's usually a capacitor that went bad or a bad solder joint. Usually it's got to be cleaned. These old ones are that robust, so they will fail eventually. I'll probably fail. I'm guaranteeing I'm probably going to fail before these systems fail around here. And then my son will simply just take them and throw them in the garbage because Dad, and get rid of them that way. But I don't know. For me, if I can't use the original cartridge or an EverDrive in original hardware, I'm just fine with using a PC and just throwing it up on the machine and playing it that way. Because honestly, for me, I know I'm different than a lot of people. Well, okay, we all know I'm different than a lot of people. But the point I was just trying to make is I'm more about like the hardware architecture, how the thing kind of works. I play the games, and as you guys know, I suck at quite a few of the games, but I'm not really into it for that. I'm into for just the technology, these engineers who sat down and made it work or found ways to make it really inexpensive, or it wasn't expensive, it made you pay a high price for it. That's where it gets it for me. And I always, when I play these games, another thing I tend to do is when I watch a movie, I kind of throw myself back into that time frame. When I'm playing my Atari or Pong, I'm not thinking I'm in 2020 playing that game. I'm putting myself back when that machine first came out. What would it have felt like sitting down there for the first time, coming home from Sears in '74, connected to your TV set, and how that was? To me, that's kind of the experience for me. I know a lot of people just want to play the games. They want to experience the games. They want to have instant, gameplay. I'm different as far as that goes. That's why I don't need to collect the actual cartridges. I want to collect the actual machines to open them up and see how it was laid out, how they made things work. And if they're broke, I love getting them broke. So I like trying to fix them. I'm weird.
I'm with
I know.
you. No, I'm with you.
Thank you, Pat.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, because actually, when when I was just doing the mini stuff and I wasn't doing the game hunting stuff, people were like, "What's the point in hacking these minis when you can just buy a Raspberry Pi?" So the argument was, well, a Raspberry Pi doesn't have the feeling. There's nothing. It's just a computer you're playing your games on. With a mini, you have the actual controller. You have the system. It's just a mini version, but it's the nostalgia. It's bringing you back to the time where you used to play this as a kid. Raspberry Pis didn't exist when I was 5-6 years old. So it's all about the feeling, and a lot of people don't get that. They just, like you said, they want that instant, just sit down, turn it on, and play.
It's that sunshine in your pocket. I'll spare everybody. Hey, Zohar in the YouTube chat room gave a super chat, said, "I just want to say I love everyone. Stay safe."
Good. Hope everyone's staying safe out there, because it's a crazy world we're living in.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
It still feels weird. It's just weird. This whole year, I thought 2019 was a bad year, and 2020 says, "Oh no, bitch, you ain't seen nothing yet." And
I mean, they
showing
canceled
us what
San Diego Comic-Con today.
Yeah, they canceled it. Yep, sure did.
I mean, honestly, I was surprised it took them this long, but like, it's a weird, eerie, Walking Dead world that we live in.
But the future's looking better, because I mean, it looks like some places are going to be opening up very shortly. I know our state sounds like it's going to be one of them.
Christmas is canceled. Telling you right now, Christmas is canceled.
So before we get to wrap things up, I did want to share a tip kind of thing. I want to stress that I am not a pro modder at any of this stuff, but I do know how to mod these arcade 1-up cabinets, and anybody that's watched videos knows that you can pretty much do it if you can follow simple instructions. So my brother was over here last week, and he came out like he does yearly, helping me with some stuff in the house, like putting lights in the shower where we didn't have any. And he had bought this Marvel cabinet from Arcade 1-Up, and our good friend Angel made him a lighted marquee that we put on. He bought everything that I told him to buy, and I want to draw everybody's attention to the back here of the monitor. So when I put this out, everybody kind of went after me and said that you really shouldn't put that on the monitor, which I knew, because you could fry it. Now, if anybody's taken apart the new Arcade 1-Ups, you realize that the wires are not as long as the ones in the original Street Fighter cabinets that we all have been modding. So I was like, dang it, now how the heck am I going to get it down there on the board where everything else is, the Pi is and everything? So since he was traveling back with this and we put it together out here, I put duct tape on the wires to hold everything. Well, it's actually Gorilla Tape to hold everything on the sides. But what I did was I took industrial strength Velcro and put it down on the monitor, because normally you would ground that wire, the black wire that you can see off to the left, to the actual board for the LCD. But Arcade 1-Up, what they do is they actually, on the new versions, they ground it right to the monitor. So you can kind of see I left that ground wire there and just put the Velcro in between it, and it's keeping it's keeping it from hurting it, right? But I wanted to tell people, so you don't run into, if you can't do that, if you're unable to don't pull those wires and rip them out. Stick them in the back.
not.
Yeah, stick them in the back. You're going to be fine. He was running it, and he was one also that was saying, to me, my daughter and him were playing it to test all the different ROMs out, but he was saying the same thing, like, hey, this is awesome. And he told me his stepson was playing. They played Tecmo Super Bowl. They played Turtles and The Simpsons, and my brother's like, you just made a kid happy. And again, it's Raspberry Pi, but even him, he was like, man, I remember when we used to play this. We'd sneak down after we went to bed, and we'd be playing off-road, and, those are the types of things that, but after playing that and going to a cartridge patent, it's just like, I want the cartridge. Yeah. I want the cartridge. I'm sorry. It sounds weird, but I understand it. I understand more now, even with the whole emulation and the differences with it. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I thought it was a cool little, I said to him, we're not supposed to put this on the monitor. And he goes, well, let's try it. So that's what we did. So anyways, there's that.
Another thing real quick, I'll add to that, because you didn't put tape there. There's a thing called Kapton tape. And if you ever open up any electronics, you see it's like a yellow transparent tape. That's Kapton tape. And if you put that over in the back, that also prevents any type of shorting. But again, all the machines that I've modded, I'm going to be honest, I use regular like 17-inch HP or Zenith monitors, whatever I have lying around. And as long as you have the thick enough double-sided tape or double-sided Velcro, you're not going to have a problem. It's not going to short out. So I do it all the time. And nothing's blown up in here yet.
Sure. Now he tells me after I'm sitting there like, I'm feeling bad because it's my brother's. I'm like, I don't know. I put it on the wood. The other ones I've done, I put it on the wood for friends and stuff.
No. Yeah, those new BOE monitors, they have that short LVDS cable, so you can't really stretch it all the way down to the wood. So, I mean, on my cocktail cabinet, mine is literally ghetto rigged with some cardboard in between, mainly just because I'm going to replace the monitor anyway. But yeah, as long as you put something in between, you'll be all right.
Well, another thing you could do. I'm sorry, real quick.
You're fine. You're fine.
When you go to the store and you get the paint sticks, you can also mount it to that and then mount that inside the monitor as well. So there's all things you could do. It's thin. It'll protect and insulate it. You can do that as well.
Good old popsicle sticks.
That's it.
Well, it was his, and I didn't want it ruining it, and I had to think of something that I could put in there that was going to stay in its travels home in the back of a truck for 6 hours. So that was kind of the logic there, but it seemed to work. But I think I wanted to bring that because, like I said, there was a lot of people that were messaging me going, "You really shouldn't do that." It wasn't like they were yelling at me or anything, but and I said, well, no, it's actually fine. I mean, I was touching the monitor even with it on. It wasn't zapping me or anything like that. So
that's always a good test.
Hey, I figured I'm putting it together. I wasn't going to let him get zapped with it, right? I would do that, but he did like the Legends Ultimate. I know, Pat, and you just got done saying like you're in love with that, with the
Legends Ultimate.
all these cores are coming out. The Sega CDs are going on. I don't know if you guys have done that.
I've done a ton of that on the minis and on my PC, and I just recently found, I didn't know that was a new thing. I just figured that there had always been a core for it. I had no idea. So there were actually a couple questions on the ALU or the At Games Discord. Someone was like, my Sega CD games aren't working. So I was like, well, did you put the BIOS in it? And hey,
and the contents
already troubleshooting. Yeah.
Well, I broke the cardinal rule. I put Turbografx on that, and I put the Sega CD. So I'm equal. I'm in the middle.
And on that note, to Doug, I don't know if you saw my last video I did when I reviewed these. I admitted something. I did see that. You did. Okay. So what I basically said was, I'm glad he saw it, was that there is a version of Space Harrier on the PC Engine and the Turbografx 16. And of course, it was a home console you could do on the Genesis. And it's horrible. I mean, I think it was horrible on the Turbografx 16. Why did they put that on there as to showcase the game? The frame rate I thought was bad. The scaling I thought was bad. The music was just, and the Genesis absolutely trounced it there. So Doug, I want to give you that one kudo for that.
Because I think
take
the
that one
Genesis,
small victory.
I think that was on the Genesis Mini too, Space Harrier.
It
And
was.
I didn't
and
like that.
It's so much better.
I thought the TurboGrafx 16 mini version was better.
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Middle words. It's
I mean, neither of them touched the arcade version, but I specifically remember playing the Genesis mini version, and I was like, I didn't like that. But when I pulled it up on the TurboGrafx 16 mini, I was like, oh, well, this is better than the one on the Genesis. But I don't know, maybe I was just
Try it one more time. I'm telling you,
so much bigger.
I was just like, I was disappointed. I was really disappointed that they threw that on there. To me, that was the lowest point of the console was that game.
Yeah, that one didn't translate good to any home console.
32X, not too bad.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to wrap this up and go into post show. And if you want to stick around, we've got a new way for you guys to interact in the post show. And you got to stick around for the post show to see how to do that. But we want to thank our special guest here, Patton Plays. If you want to give a plug of where to find you and check out all your good stuff.
Sure thing. Well, first, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you guys are interested in doing any kind of not just mini mods on your system, console reviews, game collecting, more like game hunting, or arcade stuff, just find me on Patton Plays on YouTube. I also have a Facebook page. I got a Twitter, and I do have a Discord that you can find me on. So if you're interested in mostly retro stuff, not all retro stuff, but yeah, come find me.
Awesome. Also, Mr. Douglas Smith, youtube.com/cooltoy. Go check out some of his new videos. And you just put up one about your cocktail cabinet. And what else you got going on?
Yeah. So I got some books. So that's going to be weird. People are going to be like, what? You're going to review books? What is it? But no, I got some interesting books that people might be fond of if they like retro games and things like that I'm going to be talking about very soon. I'll have more updates on that cocktail cabinet because I can't stop tinkering with it. But yeah, that's what I got in the works.
Well, and you've got a new series that you're doing weekly for At Games as well.
Yeah, for At Games, I'm doing a little tutorial session video series with them. Every Sunday at noon is a new video for the next long time. So
foreseeable future.
Yeah, foreseeable future. But hopefully that helps newcomers, new users out there that, because some of our videos in the past, they get bogged down in the YouTube algorithm and it's hard to find those. So hopefully these new videos help out new users and people discover new things and all the functionality and features that their Legends Ultimate Arcade offers them.
Awesome.
That was a lot in a breath.
Woo. He did.
It was a lot.
He did. He was turning blue. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I did.
And we've got Mr. Glenn Planamento. He's holding something. What's he holding?
I want to give a shout out to Richie Knuckles. I got my DVD. I think you got yours too, did you not?
I did, yes.
Cough, still haven't got mine.
Not yet.
Wow, man. There's no love for the cool toy.
It's all right.
You better send him a message because he might have not got your address.
Yeah, I'll double check it.
Yeah. Very cool. You guys can check out Glenn, youtube.com/Glenn's Retro Show, as well as he is the owner of a lot of the, I'm not going down the line, Glenn, of all the
Amazon of Facebook groups.
The groups. Go check them out. And guys, we really appreciate it. Go subscribe to the show. You can find everything out on the web. We're just about everywhere your favorite podcast is. iTunes, Google Play, Pandora, all that good stuff for video and audio. If you don't want the video and you just want to listen to the banter, you can download the audio. But we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you next week for more here of the Retro Buzz. And for those that are still here, stay tuned for the post show. We'll see you next week.
Oh, yeah, I see. I see why Doug can't read that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, before you read it, so guys, we've been tinkering around and wondering ways to get more and more people involved and trying to get people to interact with us in the post show and whatnot. So for the next 45 days, because that's what the agreement is that I have with the company, hopefully we can get them on longer, we have a call-in number. You can actually pick up a phone. We don't have to worry about tech challenges for people that don't want to call in with video, but you want to call in and say hi to Patton. You want to say what kind of great job he's doing, and Glenn and Cool Toy? You can call the number 610-936-9535 and call right now, and we can get you to come in. I know Angel's coming in the usual way, but for the rest of you guys, you can call in and answer questions or ask questions. And,
or answer questions.
Or answer
Like,
questions,
hey,
yeah.
you guys don't know what you're talking about. Let me give you the real scoop.
That's fine. I had that all week, so that's fine.
Both
But we did
games
get
suck.
We got a super chat here from Zohar. Doug, do you want to read that? Do you want me to read that one?
I'll let you do the honors.
So Zohar says, have a good stream, everyone. Just going to leave with this here. Mortal Kombat 1 is better than Street Fighter 2 in every possible way. LOL peace.
Deep breaths.
Totally agree.
I have to agree
Mm.
personally. I'm more of a
I
Mortal
agree.
Kombat guy than a Street Fighter guy.
I
But I
agree.
know Doug could beat the living daylights out of me. So for now, I'll say Street Fighter's better.
I agree. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Sorry.
One's more technical than the other, but I mean, I don't know.
Can you hear me?
That's
Get
like-
over here. That's enough.
Yep, we got you. We also
That's hard to compare.
we also have a caller on the phone. Caller, who's this?
Yeah, this is Jose. I have a question. If you want to order just like one of the PC engines from, Florida actually. But can you order? How can you order those systems, and can you do it? And can you buy with a debit bank card? And I have another question also too.
I think it's any one of them. You can, Pat, you want to answer him?
Yeah, actually, if you still have that link, Glenn, that I sent you,
We'll
you can
we'll
get
throw
it.
it up.
You can get it from Amazon Japan. I just created an Amazon Japan account, and my debit card worked. I went to this link. I found it online, and when it goes to for your payments, you can put in your payment just like regular Amazon. It all works completely the same. It'll convert. It'll ask if you want to pay in yen or US dollars. You just check the US dollars, and that's it. You'll get emails about the status of the shipment and everything, just like you would normal Amazon, and it works exactly the same. Just make sure you have some kind of Google Translate, so
Yes.
you know how to navigate.
You don't accidentally buy 50 of them.
Okay. Is that something that because I don't know Japanese. Man,
Right.
I'm American.
But when you go to the page,
so-
it'll ask you because you're hopefully fit Android. I don't know if iPhone does it, but Android does anyway. It'll
Okay.
ask you, do you want to translate to English? Because Android kind of does that for you because it's better.
Yeah,
So
if
just make
Alright.
translate to English.
you may want to use
Okay,
Google
but then
Chrome to.
How about if you do it on a PC?
Yeah,
you
just
don't
use
have a-
Google Chrome.
Yeah,
Yeah, because most of the purchases I do from Amazon, normally from the computer. I don't like using my cell phone for some reason. It's just I don't like it. It's more like the computer thing.
yeah. I used Google Chrome on my PC, and a little
Oh,
drop
okay.
down came up at like the top left, or I'm sorry, the top right. Translate to
Uh-huh.
English, and you click on that, and the whole page should translate so you can read it.
It sometimes gives you an option if you want to translate all pages and just click
Oh,
that.
okay.
It'll make sure anything you look at comes up in English. It's
Okay.
really not hard. If you look at the
Peter,
you did it.
Patrick, I have a question for you. I have the Hachi 3.7, the 3.8, the new one.
3.8.
But then the icons, when you do them custom, you cannot load them as custom icon. It shows you the old the old surface of your surface for the old icon, but you can't add the new icons like custom icons. So I had to use the older on the folder but I don't know how to use that.
Oh, for the folders? You mean for like the new ones for like the Genesis Mini, or the older systems? Which mini system are you trying to use it on?
Yeah, I'm doing the SNES. So
Okay.
it has icons, system icon, console icons. So you can change them, right? You can do
Correct,
custom
yes.
ones. You can do with a nice picture and everything. But it only gives me the option of the pixelated one, the ones that are original there. So I tried to do that, and I'm a big fan of you. Trust me, one of my teachers, man. I thank you a lot. Patrick, actually. I forget your name. Okay, but I'm a big fan, man. I follow you for everything. I
Oh, thank you
also
so much.
follow Glenn, and I also follow I forget his name, the guy's name on the front, the one who does the channels. So I follow all you three because I haven't seen the one on the third, the man on the third. I want to subscribe to him because I don't know what his channel is. But then I'm trying to figure out how to change those icons on the system on the NES, Super NES. So I don't know how to do that. So I'm just trying to see if you're gonna come out with a video on that on the new hack sheet
Yeah.
3.8 and how to change them.
Yeah, I've done a couple videos on it before. I don't think it's any different from the old way, but yeah, that was actually one that I was going to do. I was going to do a new tutorial on the folders because that's something I get a lot of questions on, how to just structure the folders, how to add your own art to the folders. So I am going to do one on that. I'm going to try and do it sooner than later, but my time has been so killed with what's going on and having the kids home all the time. But yes, that one, how to use an OTG adapter for more space, and a couple other features that have come out with 3.8 that some people may not, be used to since it's brand new. But yes, I will be updating the folder icon or the folder tutorial.
Hey, man, we appreciate your call. We got another caller coming on right now. Hey, caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller, you on the air?
They're gone.
Hello, caller, you're on the air.
They died.
He's here.
You hear something?
Hear a TV set.
Yeah. Sound like Dr. Martin Luther King in the background.
I think it was the Rock.
Oh,
But it was real. Yeah, maybe he was watching wrestling or something.
Both preaching the gospel.
All right, we've got another caller on the air. Who's this? Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
It sounds like they're flushing their toilet, I think. All right. We got Angel with us, too. Hey, caller, you're on the air. Caller.
Hey, Steve, it's Sean.
Hey, Sean, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Hold on, let me mute my television. This question is for this question's for Glenn. I'm here live double. Glenn, what do you think about the new Intellivision Amico? And I'll hang up.
Well, back with the original television, I never actually owned one. Well, that's not true. I did own one, but I didn't have a lot of games for it back then.
Truth comes out.
The television was a system I enjoyed. I hated the controller. I think it's one of the worst controller designs on the planet. So looking at this new one, I know the controller's kind of still sticking with that like disc on there. So I don't know. I did not pre-order it. I know a lot of my friends who did. Will I get one to try out? I will. I also think that this will actually be real hardware versus so far with the Atari one, which is really more vaporware in my opinion. I mean, if it does come out, I think the Atari one is complete sham of a console. To be quite honest, I honestly do. From what they originally touted it to be, Mattel, or I'd say the Amico, the Intellivision Amico, looks like they're actually making content. They're making fresh content for it. With the Atari, that's kind of what they promised, and now you even have to buy. Like it was a come with games. I got to buy the games. It's just a mess. I do like the control design. It reminds me a little bit of the Dreamcast. We have the little MMU with the display in it, so you can kind of see what's going on the screen. So I think it's got some interesting possibilities. I'm not excited for it, but my opinion is open on it. If that makes any sense at all.
I like how you said it's a complete sham.
Yeah. I was going to say something else, but I try to fix that there. It's really disappointing though, because a lot of these companies think just because try to make a quick buck, on nostalgia and the people in this community, and a name like Atari should be more dignified than I think they've been carrying themselves. This was announced at 2017, if I'm not mistaken, for the Atari. When 3 years later. 3 years later, they've taken $3 million and they've shown nothing. And in fact, not only did they not show nothing, They've been in league with Kathleen Kennedy this entire time. Oh, I'm sorry, different rant. They're announcing hotels. They're announcing hotels. You should not be announcing hotels and anything else until you come out with your product. Come out with the product you promised that people gave you money for. I mean, that bothers me. People spent their money on a company that used to have meaning, and they've turned this company, and these people are using it and abusing it. And people have money invested. Give them their product. Come out with it, or return their money.
Yeah, exactly. Or a refund at the very least.
Right.
Right.
At least.
We've got another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, everyone.
Another soundboard.
And Trump, like me.
Get off the phone.
Okay. So Angel, until somebody else calls in, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you.
We
We got
can.
you. We got
We
you.
can.
Yeah, first try. Looking
I
slick.
know, right?
Hair.
You got
He-
hair.
yeah,
You got
like-
no hat on today. Look at this. You have hair.
I'm not even shaving, man.
A lot of people are not
Oh.
doing that over all this.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the call-in system? Do you think this is something that'll be fun to do, or do you think it's going to be like?
I mean, it opens up the doors for those people that, were intimidated by the technical, how do I log in? How do I do the neural net and all that kind of stuff? Like, no, just make a phone call.
I'm glad you feel that way because since you have a Mac, I might be sending you over the screener application so you could put the people on air and drop them off.
That works.
Because there actually is an app that I could send you. It runs
Mhm.
in Java that allows you to you can screen the calls, push them on air, and then it'll come to my system, and I just hit the button, and boom, they're on air.
Nice.
So that'll be good because Glenn doesn't have a Mac. All right, we got somebody else calling in too. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Atari is the best company ever, and that I really like Glenn's retro show. It's pretty awesome, and I just wanted to say that Cool Toy is a handsome guy, but Glenn's just got a good. Oh, I didn't realize I came in front of the camera there. Sorry, guys.
I don't know what is going on there. I have no idea
Well
what that was.
played. Well played.
That was really good. That was good.
But there's a couple of things I gotta agree with you guys that Mortal Kombat is better than Street Fighter.
Yes. Yes.
No, absolutely. That's why I
Mortal
modded the
Kombat.
Street Fighter cabinet.
Ah, God. All I got to say to you guys is Tiger Uppercut.
That's
Oh, yeah.
joking. But
I got-
and also I think cartridges way better than CDs. I mean, I rather have a cartridge. I rather have the plastic, the hard plastic than a CD. I mean, Xbox and PlayStation are good systems, but CDs, I'm not into those. I really don't. I rather have the cartridges.
Have those load times with those cartridges.
That's the nostalgic of it. That's the best time. Blowing them when they were dusty. Remember, you had to blow into them and get them all cleaned up and stuff like that. That was a good time.
Well, I don't care what media that they use, but I do want to have the media. I don't
Something-
want to have something that they turn a server off in 4 years. Now all your stuff is just gone. You
It's
can't
gone,
get it
yeah.
again.
Or your account, yeah. They
Yep.
cancel your account and stuff.
All
like
right,
that.
not to interrupt. We got two other callers waiting here. We got who's next here. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, it's
Uh-oh.
P-Dubs.
Hello.
Hi, what's up, P-Dubs?
Hey,
His computer's down.
I got a problem I need your guys' help with. I
You're
still
not
have all
getting-
these P-Dubs.
You're not getting more
I
cowbell.
still have all these stickers. No, I have all these stickers,
So-
dude. I got to get rid of these stickers.
Wait. Who made you those stickers?
Tyler,
Oh.
arcadegraphics.com.
I'm still waiting for my graphics that I was promised back on Monday. You all saw that, right?
You're having
So
some
just
horrible
tell everyone to
madness.
put in the chat their addresses so I can mail them their stickers.
P-Dub, send me some.
I got to get rid of
Send me
these things,
some.
guys.
P-Dub, send me some. I got a wall of fame. I'm sticking a whole bunch of stickers on.
All right, I'm going to send you about 400, Angel.
Jesus Christ. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick mine on top of yours and send those out.
There you go.
Genius.
All right, guys. That's all I wanted. You guys have a great night.
All right.
You too,
See ya,
guys.
P-Dub. All right, we got another caller. Who we got? Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, you got Ben here. How you doing, fellas?
Hey, Ben. What's going on, man?
Subscribe to all your channels. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Nice to have some fellow, 40-year-old around that age or older men that have that same type of
I'll take the 40. You can
nostalgia
stop there.
that
Don't
I
go higher
do.
than that. 40's good.
Quick question. Legends Ultimate, like you guys, I'm a big fan, but not real technical savvy. I'm not real good at downloading all those UCE files. Besides buying all these things off of Etsy, is there any other way to easily get a set of ROMs for the USB to actually try to use the Legends Ultimate more than what you're using it for? The 350 games that come with it?
I think I was just gonna say, I think you need to PM P-Dubs or Shelton in the chat room, and they'll get you taken care of. That's all I can say on
Sounds
air.
good. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
That's all I can
got
say.
you. I know it was limited.
No. But we're You'll P-Dubs will explain it to you in a private chat.
And he'll give you a sticker.
Thank you.
Yeah, he'll give you a sticker. But no, seriously,
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
we'll get you taken care of.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, Ben. Take care. Yeah, it's one of those things we can't talk about live. We just can't. But P-Dubs will get them taken care of. So P-Dubs, I hope you're listening, or Shelton, get them taken care of. I don't know. I like the call in here.
Yeah.
Hey Pat, quick question. I know I asked you the last show, but my PlayStation Mini is still wrapped up in a box and sealed. What is your latest video that I can modify this and put at least some decent amount of PlayStation games?
Retroboot 1.01, I think, is the very latest one.
1.01.
That's if you don't care about the PlayStation Classic UI at all, and you just want to go straight to RetroArch with it. Retroboot's what you want. But if you want something that you can load the games from the user interface, like through the scrolling, the circle, or something that still resembles the original, you want Auto Blame. The newest Auto Blame is 0.8. I haven't done a video on that yet, but I did hear that there may be a new one coming out.
Yeah, by the
soon,
time I get it done, I'm sure the new one's already out. It's like I want to do it, but I get the time is always catching me.
Yeah. And what's nice about those two mods is that it doesn't do anything internally to your system at all. It's all ran from the flash drive, so you're not modifying anything.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it done because that's still sitting in a box sealed, and so is the Genesis. Like,
there's nothing wrong with keeping it sealed.
Where they should be. Where they should be. You need a Turbografx 16 Mini because the interface in that is awesome.
I ordered mine too in July 16th. I'm looking at my order July 16th. I ordered mine.
Amazon Japan. You'll get it in 2 weeks.
I might have to.
I think May 7th is what I saw on the site just now when I looked at it. May 7th is the next.
I'm gonna be like Glenn and have two of them, the Japanese version and the regular one.
So somebody's asking
you need the European version too.
Somebody's asking in the chat room. They said, "Whatever happened to the Pinferno pinball table you were going to do a review of?" Pinferno just kind of fizzled out. I don't know what happened with them. I know they had issues with shipping because it was so expensive. I think they were even saying that in the chat room. But I did see the owner in the fan group the other day. He posted something like it's coming soon. So I don't know if maybe they worked out a deal for shipping. I haven't talked to them, so I don't know. It's kind of like Toy Shock, right? This whole situation that happened, we're kind of in limbo.
They're in Canada, right?
They are, Canada, right? They are, and that's why it's expensive.
Yeah, it's real expensive for them. So
plus customs, right? So, but they are quality tables from what I've seen in the pictures and whatnot. So hopefully down the road, maybe something will happen of that. But for right now. Now, I did see a couple people trying to call in. You guys are free to call in. Every time I go to answer it, you hang up. So I don't know. Like you just got to hang on a little bit longer. I don't want to interrupt these guys.
They're not 91.
got
So
to get some hold music for them.
Hey, P-Dubs on YouTube. Take care of Ben if you can, or you or Shelton, please. I didn't know if he was still sticking around or not, but
he's there because the stickers are still here. He's got stickers in here all over the place.
Who needs
stickers?
I'll have to get a sticker and put it up on the wall.
What stickers are you guys talking about?
His logo.
The cabinet?
His logo sticker.
The logo.
Yeah, he's got about
all right, here we go.
All
right, caller, you're on the air.
Who needs stickers? I'm gonna get a sticker. Put it up.
You have to mute.
Turn down your radio.
Mute the stream. Yeah, mute the stream.
Here we go. All right, caller.
No. wow.
Oh, he's
What?
waiting, Obi-Wan. That's for you.
You have to hear the Emperor.
I don't know. I think this polling thing is gonna bite us in the ass.
Yeah, that's somebody just playing a soundboard. That's pretty good.
But it was Darth Vader's soundboard. So
No, what they should have done, Kathleen Kennedy. That would have triggered you.
yeah, it would have got me off. Yeah, right.
That
Let's
would
get
have.
her. Let's get her to call. I like to see her. I like to see her and Glenn go at it on a show. I think it'd be a
Someone
great hour
give
show.
Kathleen Kennedy of Disney.
Let's do it.
610-936-9535. Do it, and we'll have a
Let's do it.
conversation. I'll set her straight.
And
We'd have the
Ben
number at Kathleen Kennedy.
gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you, Ben. We appreciate it.
Much appreciated.
We'll get you, like I said, we'll get you taken care of. I'm hoping to get these guys to sponsor the show, the Backbone Radio. That's the call-in system I'm using. Right now, it's like $125 a month to pay for that. And I know there's other things that we could spend money on, but I thought, let's see how people like it. Let's see if it's worth it. And then I can approach them to say, hey, would you, because I do some other shows outside of this, but I think it's like, Doug, like you said, it's a lot easier than trying to go through the
simplicity of it. Just call the number.
Yeah, it's
right.
Plus, we reserve that for Angel when he jumps in.
Yeah.
If there's a way to like screen them to like actually hear somebody else on the other line.
Well, that's what I'd like to be able to do for Doug. Doug, you'll be able to, because you have a Mac, you'll be able to install it. They only have the application for the Mac.
You got a job because you got a Mac.
I don't think.
How dare I be reliable?
And what's cool is you'll be able to send me a message on it. You'll be able to type in, "This is John from whatever," and so we can go into that. So it's very easy.
Kennedy.
It's very easy. But no, I think it's cool.
Are us Android users just like homeless people, or? I like Android. I have an Android phone.
Android's good. It is good.
I like it.
I have nothing. I have an Android tablet that I use as my looping Vader breathe for my cosplay costume. Works really good. They have a good app for that. And it also sometimes I'll use it for soundboards and things like that. But we got a caller here. Let's see. Then they hung up just when I was going to answer it.
Psych.
Okay. It's like psych.
Let it ring more than twice.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to disrupt it, thinking that it's going to ring.
Mm.
And it doesn't ring. That's the cool part about this, because this is just like radio where it's not going to ring out loud. I see it flash in front of me on the screen. That's how I know that somebody's calling in.
Well, Pat, let me ask you. Out of all, you've got obviously all the minis. What is your personal favorite? I know the Turbografx one is new, but really, what is the one you enjoy the most? The one that you, even it's hacking it. Oh, what's your favorite one?
All right, so I think. Well, I mean, I think the overall package. Not counting hacking or anything like that. I honestly, I think it's the Turbografx 16 is going to come up on top just because of presentation alone on it. I mean, the Genesis is there too, but I mean, even if it's, I don't know if it's just a cash grab with Konami, like the PlayStation was with Sony, but Sony showed you how to do a cash grab the wrong way. If this is a cash grab, then Konami did it the right way because they put a ton of effort into the system. It's got a ton of storage. Once hacking wise, once the hacks come in, it's got a lot of storage. But just overall impressed with the presentation. I do like that they include multiple regions on the system, even if I can't play freaking Snatcher, which I'm not happy about. But like, I do like that they put the option in for a lot of Japanese games, because they could have just released the Turbografx 16 mini with the 27 games and the PC Engine in Japan with the other 28 games or whatever it was. They didn't have to include everything, but they did. So I thought that was really nice, and it's like I said, it's very polished. The animations when you start a game up, the hue card going in, or I love it. I love the CD games because the sound that plays when the CD's spinning,
accurate.
It is so close to the original. It's crazy. But yeah, I think in the end, even though it came with one controller, I think in terms of presentation, the Turbografx 16 comes on top. Genesis Mini is right behind it, though. They did a really good job with the Genesis Mini.
Behind.
What's that?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. I'm listening.
All right.
But they did good, dude. But I mean, like they really went all in with the Turbografx, I think.
Real quick, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, yeah, guys. I just wanted to ask you a quick question, kind of a weird question. If you could kill off a video game series, what would it be? And if you could bring one back, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Kill off.
Glenn, you're a passionate man. What franchise do you want to kill?
Which one am I killing? Well, one franchise I definitely want to bring back is Pong. Pong has got to come back, and it's got to come back in force. The one I'd want to kill off.
How do you make that come back in force?
Hey, man, it's my dream. So what would I want to kill off? I'd want to. God, what would I want to kill off?
What's that lady's
Custer's
name?
Revenge. Custer's Revenge can go away. I don't need to see that game.
Doesn't count. That died a long time ago.
Died the moment it came out.
We could bring back Bonk's series.
Ooh.
But let's kill off Resident.
Oh, I totally blew my thing. I should have said that. Oh no.
Let's kill off.
Ease.
Let's
I'm changing it. Ease. Ease got to come back.
Let's kill off Resident Evil. I've had enough of Resident Evil games. I'm sorry. It was either that or Call of Duty because I'm so over Call of Duty as well. It's like,
I would have agreed with you at 6, but the remakes, the 2 and 3 remakes, are like they know they're doing a good job with the remakes.
I have the new one, whatever the latest new one was, but I didn't get any of the remakes. I don't think so. I'll have to check. I think I pre-ordered one, but that's where I'm at.
What system are the remakes on?
The modern systems, I think
PS4
and Xbox and PC.
I
maybe.
try those out. I kind of like the classic ones, the original ones.
I
love
liked
the
Resident Evil 4 was great, and the Dreamcast one, which was Resident Evil Code Veronica. Love those games.
Veronica was good.
Resident Evil 4 is one of my all-time favorite games of all time.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, Doug. Here's your chance to stick one to Glenn. Which one are you going to kill off, and which one are you going to bring back?
I mean, I'm probably honestly killing off Call of Duty. That franchise died in my eyes many years ago. It's just every year it's a cash grab, rehashing the same old, and I'm actually getting my answer to what I wanted to bring back, what franchise. So I feel, lucky and fortunate. But the Streets of Rage series, like we're getting Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, that's right, Streets of Rage 4, and
it has the old school, like they announced in that new trailer where you can have old school skins and so I mean, that was if that game didn't exist, Streets of Rage Forge didn't exist, I would still answer Streets of Rage just because I'm a side-scrolling beat-em-up sucker. Anything that type of genre, I will always love and play and enjoy. But Streets of Rage specifically, mainly because the music and just the art styling, everything with the sprites, I love
Very
that
good
game.
All right,
There were
Angel.
a couple games that did that. Oh, sorry.
Nope, you're fine. You're fine.
Me, I don't think I have anybody I would kill off. I always loved the Super Nintendos. I was a big fan of Super Nintendo because of the fact that they brought all the original Nintendos and gave it a little more look. So when they did that with the Wii, and they did like the updated Marios and also the 3DS, and the Marios looked a little more interactive, I've always liked. I don't know. I'm a big Nintendo fan since day one. So I don't know what I would kill off.
I had one last thought. The NFL 2K series, like before Madden got, I know you don't care about sports, Glenn, but before Madden got all the franchise rights to the NFL sports games, there was a series called NFL 2K and 2K 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those games were, in my opinion, superior to the Madden series. And when the competition got pulled away and it was Madden or nothing, that's when Madden started phoning it in. It's like, hey, guess what? You're going to pay $60 for a roster update every year. Suck it.
Thanks, EA. You're great.
Yep.
EA is awesome.
But
All right. I will say Trip
basketball.
Hawkins is gone by that time. Trip Hawkins had already left EA when that started happening.
All right, caller. What about you? What's your one that you keep, and which one are you gonna get rid of?
Well, I would get rid of. I'm kind of with you. I would get rid of the Resident Evil series. Not a big fan. And my game to bring back would be Crimson Skies from the original Xbox.
That was a good game.
It was a flying game, like an arcade flying game.
Airplane shooter game.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yep. Shmup.
That's good. Those are good. Interesting.
It's a good question. Very good question.
Yeah.
Now, what you were
All right,
talking
well,
about
thanks,
with Street
guys.
Rage 4,
All right,
how you
appreciate
had,
it,
like,
caller.
the pixel differences. There were a couple games I remember that did that, but you can do it like on the fly as you're playing the game. One of them was the monster. What was it? Glenn, what is that? Monster Boy something? There was a new one that kind of came out like a remake. The one where you can turn into a dragon.
Oh, not Altered Beast.
No, not Altered Beast. It's one of the Monster Boy or Monster Boy in Wonderful
In
what is
Wonderland?
that? Yes, thank you. A
Monsterland?
newer
Wonderland?
one came out. But one of those games in that series just got a remake. And just with the push of a button, you go back to the Master System version, or you can
Nice.
hit the button again and you bring up the modern version. And the Legend or the Secret of Monkey Island series came out with
Yes.
not a remake, but they did the same thing where you can play the old version, hit the button, and now you have the updated graphics and everything. I love it when games do that.
Those were good games. Those old games like King's Quest,
Sierra-
Space
Sierra
Quest,
games.
Leisure
Mhm.
Suit Larry, Maniac Mansion.
Oh man.
Oh, Maniac Mansion was good.
Oh yeah.
That was a really good game.
Did you play the sequel? Well, it's not really a sequel. Zach McCracken and the Alien
It's on one of the
Mindbenders.
plans.
I didn't play that one.
I think it's on the
Oh,
Star Black.
you got to play that.
Ah.
Got to play that. Zach
Just
McCracken.
for the name alone, Zach McCracken, private investigator.
If you guys like the Game Grumps, Danny, he's a big Space Quest fan. They just did a playthrough of Space Quest 5. It's really funny. They're really good games. I didn't play them myself, but I love watching them play them.
They were good games. I mean, they really were good games.
And the Indiana Jones games, those were fun too.
Never played those. Never played them.
Yeah,
I'm living the
I remember
life, so I don't need to play them. I'm living it.
Our childhood.
Just reading the chat room here. Keith Courage.
I'd love if they could bring back the Silent
Keith
Hill
Courage.
series
I
the
would
right way.
I would
Oh.
agree. Kill off Keith Courage.
Man, that
It's
first
them.
one creeped me out. Like it did its job as far as the horror genre. So like going into the school, kids running up. I'm like, nope, get me out of here.
Caller, you're on the air.
Steve, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well.
Who's that?
Hey, brother.
It's a Hulk,
Okay.
It's a Hulk Hogan one. It sounds like.
Vince McMahon.
Oh.
The Rock.
Just
Steve,
Hulk Hogan
how the hell
sound
are
bites.
you?
That's
I
a
don't
pretty
know.
that's
I
a
don't
pretty
think this
interesting
$100
sound.
a month is going to be worth it.
But you know what was good? The Sega Sports back with the Genesis, like primetime football with Deion Sanders. That was one of my favorite games on there. Like you, I agree with you. Madden. I was a fan in the beginning, but then it was just overkill. Just
The Sega Y2K was much better on the Dreamcast. I mean, I'm not a sports guy. I told you that.
Yeah.
But the sports games on the Dreamcast were awesome until
I agree.
EA kind of just
And that's
killed
what
it
I'm
out.
talking about. That franchise, the 2K series and everything,
Yes.
they were in their prime. Like 2K5 is still one of my favorite football games, period.
I think it released at like $20 too, and that like really scared
those
me.
are the
We're
only
like,
ones I'll
oh.
buy. Sports games that are retro. Like I won't buy. Like I bought like a Prime Time. I have that and stuff like that. But I don't. I'm like you. I'm not gonna buy all that other garbage.
Yeah. Need to get you some Frank Thomas Big Hurt baseball or some Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
There you go.
Those are both awesome games.
George Foreman KO
The
boxing.
Blitz was always good.
Oh,
NFL Blitz.
Oh yeah, everybody loves Blitz.
Sports
Can't go wrong
talk.
with Blitz.
Sports. We
The
used
Blitz
to
and the NBA jams. They were always awesome.
NBA.
But-
Somebody
Blitz and NBA Jam are the best sports games. I love the arcade style.
Actually-
I'm not too big on the simulation stuff, but
Red Sea Gaming Life says in there. He says, kill off Madden, but bring back Blitz, NBA Jam, and Keith Courage.
Yeah, that's pretty
Keith
good.
Courage. I mean,
I'm not
I
a
guess
Keith
some
Courage
people
fan.
like that. I like the intro music. I like the intro music. That's it. I don't get.
were
the
there
game.
more than one Keith Courage games, or was it just the one?
The Turbografx.
They're only the one here, but apparently it was a big anime series, in
Oh.
Japan, and that's what it's based off of. But none of us have any idea what the anime is about, and they made that the pack-in game. It was just like, what move? What?
And
Can
all
you really
and all the
consider
levels
it
are the
a series
same.
if there's only one game?
Maybe they released more in Japan. I don't know, but as far as
Somebody-
I know, it's just the one game.
Somebody's playing that. We have a new caller. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller.
You're number 99. You just won our new retro shirt T-shirt.
No, you
bunch
got
of
a lifetime
P-Dub
supply of P-Dub stickers.
Oh, there you
Mhm.
go. Start giving those out.
I don't know if they were taking what we were saying and speeding it up. I heard a little bit of it. It sounded like they were doing like the chipmunk voice with it. So, see, that's why you have call screeners.
Oh,
Yep.
you know what? Smash TV. That would be a good
Smash
good
TV.
one to bring back. Smash TV. I don't know how
Oh,
they
well,
do
no.
it.
You make it a television series.
Yeah. New VCR.
It's called Blade Runner.
What about Tron?
No,
When's
it's
the last
what
Tron
was the-
game that came out?
They got to make the third movie. They've
Yeah, I was about to
been
say,
hearing
what
a
was
lot
the
of
third movie?
stuff the past couple of days about a Tron 3 coming to fruition with Disney. It's just do it.
I'm
Disney.
surprised.
Kennedy, do it.
I'm surprised you didn't say that for your pick when the caller called in about bringing a series back. I'm surprised Tron was not your number one.
Well, if you said movie franchise, I mean,
Well,
the game,
the
classic game is fine. I mean, I got to admit though, on the Intellivision, this of Tron is probably one of my favorite games on the Intellivision right there.
Okay,
That
here
was
we
just
go. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, quick question. Wanted to ask you what's between the Turbografx 16 and the PC Engine Mini. That one, that the other one doesn't.
You're breaking up, caller. Try that
I
again.
think he was asking for the differences between the Turbografx Mini and the PC Engine. If there's some certain games that one has that doesn't.
I'll let Patton take this one. I know the answer. I'm sure he does too.
There's only one game. Well, actually, I made a list. As far as I know, there's one game that is on the Japanese PC Engine. That's not on the other systems. That's Toko. What is it? Toko Mary Memorial, something like that. Some dating. Yeah, some dating game that's not on the other ones. But there are differences with the Splatterhouse version. The one that we have on the Turbografx is censored. The one on the PC Engine is not. Besides that,
There were actually, I think there's two games on the PC Engine that are not here. I couldn't pronounce either. I'm not going to bother. There's two games, and they didn't add that to the American or the Turbografx. So you actually have two games less. But like Patton said, the Splatterhouse only the PC Engine is uncensored. So you get all the blood and gore. The Turbografx and the Turbografx, the visuals are toned down a little bit. But other than that, they're all got pretty much the same library on them. And again, there's going to come a point where it's going to be hacked anyway, so it won't really matter. You're going to put anything you want. So I will say though, like he said before, just the interface alone, just turn the thing on and just seeing those cards come in, or the CD-ROM pop on the screen, or the Super System card going in. It's something that Doug and Stephen will find out one day.
He had to say that. You notice that
Eventually.
he had to say that. Caller, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call in.
Yeah, he was chopping at first, so I'm glad, Doug, you were able to pick that up because I couldn't. He was cutting in and out. At least for me, he was cutting in and out.
Yeah, cutting in and out, but I heard the key words, and I'm like, I think I could put this together.
Cool.
He's using his karate sensei mode to hear the words in between the words.
and John Riggs said that the US got Salamander and PC Engine Mini didn't.
There we go.
What did they get for instead of Salamander? Was it another? I know there was one more game. I can't remember what it was though.
Maybe we ought to, Doug. Maybe we should get the PC Engine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm ignorant, so I didn't know it was censored.
I didn't know
I'm
either.
Already, it's like, well, this makes me harken back to the day where I was glad I was a Genesis kid playing Mortal Kombat, where my Super Nintendo buddies were sitting there with their, censored version. I'm like,
we had sweat. I had sweat.
The version that I have, the version that I have on the my hacked arcade 1-up on the Pi is not censored. So I must have a ROM from overseas then.
It was Nintendo, yeah. It's censored unless someone hacked it, and they probably did. It's just changing the sweat, the blood, which was red
it's
to
blood,
white, and they made it sweat.
Well,
that's all they did.
Okay, so where does the green slime come in? It looks like green guts coming off of them when you hack their head off.
That was the old blood, I think. Isn't it?
Nickelodeon ooze.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we talking two separate minis, or are we talking the Japanese Turbografx between the American Turbografx?
We're talking
the Japanese versus the American.
Right.
So yeah, the American version got Salamander. Japanese didn't. But the Japanese got Tokumeki Memorial, which is a CD game, and Tengai Makyao 2 Manjimaru, which I think is an RPG.
Good. Very good pronunciation. I would have mentioned that.
I would have had a stroke.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got another Oh, we did have a caller. He dropped. All right, we got another caller calling in. Hang on. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, the arcade version of Splatterhouse and the Japanese one are the same.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The censored one just had a red mask, and there's one level that had upside down crosses, and they got rid of it. It's really not that much different of a game.
So why did they censor
That's
that
it.
out? That's kind of stupid.
Because
Well,
Because of the crosses.
Exactly.
Oh.
Kind of the
Cross was a
Nintendo type
big
thing.
no-no. That was a big no-no.
Gotcha.
The mask was due to the Friday the
Yeah.
13th series. They didn't want
Same
to be associated
game,
with
just
that.
they changed the crosses to like diamonds or something.
Right.
Interesting.
It was like a book or something, or a face or a book. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember getting
Yep. And
the
the face mask is white or red. Red is the American version, and white is the universal Japanese version.
Okay, so the one I have on all my ROMs is white because every time you lop the head off, you get the green
Yeah,
slime
so
that
that's
goes over.
your regular uncensored version.
Okay. Okay.
Unless it's a ROM hack and they hacked in the white color of the mask.
Oh, that's true.
On my Legends Ultimate, I have the white mask.
That's what I have on my Legends Ultimate too, is the white mask,
Yeah.
and then on
Yeah,
my
all
arcade
versions.
Exactly.
Okay.
All the arcade versions should be white mask.
Okay.
Ooh, Jason Voorhees is not getting his residuals.
All right, guys.
Hey, appreciate the call-in.
You don't want to be on this.
So pissed.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a censored version of that either.
'Cause you
on
don't
the
know.
Turbografx. Because I don't know. I don't know nothing.
You don't know.
I don't know.
So
Right.
when we finally get the American one, and sometime in December for Christmas, if Christmas isn't canceled, we will be able to hopefully hack it and put the right one in there, right?
That's Patton's job.
Yep.
Well, I'm just the video guy. I don't do the actual hack. No, but I've
Get your
been,
boys on it. Come on.
I've been talking with the Hackgy guys, and the components, everything is very similar to the Genesis Mini. What I found out though on the system, because I did open mine up, and I took pictures of the boards and everything, and I sent it to the Hackgy devs.
Good man.
Was there's no kind of reset button to enter what's called FEL mode, which is kind of like a restore mode, something like recovery mode. We haven't figured out how to do that yet. There's some software, some programs you can run to kind of trick it into that, but we haven't gotten there yet to actually get into FEL mode. But that's one of the main things that we got to get to first before we can continue. Once we get there, it's probably it'll be a matter of, I would think, days, if a week or something like that, because everything else is very similar to the Genesis Mini, like down to the hardware.
Right.
Yeah. So it won't be long once we can get past that one little hurdle. I say we, like I'm part of the dev team, but like once they get past that hurdle.
Oh, you're kind of helping them. You're giving them insight.
A little bit. Well, God, I'm like one of like 3 people in the freaking country that's got one right now. 4.
Oh, I did the other one.
Yeah, me, Glenn, Mad Little Pixel, Metal Jesus, and one other guy that I don't get some people on YouTube. I mean, you can make what you want, but okay, so this guy got his Turbografx 16 Mini, because I think we all got ours the same day, the way that you order from Amazon Japan. The first video he puts out, it's not a review, it's not a first look, it is how to remove the back of the system. That was the first video he put out, was how to remove this. And I'm just thinking like, dude, you could have been the very first person to review this unit, and you just want to tell people how to take that off. And actually,
it's just the very bottom of the the ground floor with his tutorial.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have started with, this is how you open the protective seal.
He could have
There's so many people having problems with it. It's not hard to take the cover off. You always make videos how difficult it is to get the pack cover off. It is simple. You turn it upside down, you put your finger down here, it comes right off.
Right, I don't know.
I can't. I want it. Is that it? I can't get it off.
There's no difference. There's no difference on the original one either.
I was gonna say,
No.
was that on the original? This thing came off on the back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a dust
Correct.
cover. It protects the.
See,
There is-
the one thing I'll say that Sega was a little bit better than NEC was, NEC absolutely nickel and dimed you to death with their console. You wanted AV out, you had to take this off, and you had to buy the adapter, plug it in the back. You want to have more than one controller, you got to buy a Turbo Tap. You want to go to the bathroom? You got to buy the toilet paper from them. It was a little,
But you know what,
a
though,
little
Glenn?
crazy.
I can't even
Purple
put my
paper?
I can't put the dust cover on my original because I bought the HDMI adapter for the back of it that plugs into
Right.
the, what is it, 32 pin or 16 pin or whatever it is.
There's like a gajillion pins back there. I
Yeah,
don't know how many.
like
There's a
you
lot.
can't. I
Crazy.
can't put the dust cover on it. And they did send me a replacement, by the way. When Glenn was on the phone with me, and I said, "Hey," I was helping him with something else, and I said, "Hey, take a listen to this," and you hear this, and it was coming out of the TV. He goes, "Is that your Turbografx?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "What?" I was like, "Don't worry, it'll go away in a second." And then as soon as it came, like the audio came back on, like capture cards, nothing would capture the audio, but I could hear it on the TV fine. So they ended up sending me a new cable and put it in. I think that's what was causing the problem. But I'm like, why couldn't you just have stupid RCA out the side or something? Or why do you gotta do this?
This is obviously not the real one, but on the back, basically every single circuit
Here,
would
I'll go
be
full screen
accessible.
There you go.
Back here, right? So if you wanted to, you could easily tap into the audio and video by jumping right on the pins that are on there. You didn't have to buy the thing. But of course, you didn't know that back in the day. But the composite and everything's right there. You just had to buy the stupid thing to get it. And that's the one thing I said was bad about them, that they really made you pay for every single thing on it.
I'm looking for a dust cover that I can buy separately, and I want to drill a hole in it so I can put the cover back on with the HDMI. Just big enough to send. I know it's people are probably cringing, but it's like I'll pay $15 for that.
Wasn't there like a cartridge back then that said Turbografx 16 on it? Like it just said Turbografx on it, like a label alone.
It said there's
Just
on
on
the back of the dust cover. If Glenn flips that around, there's actually on the back of it. Is that what you're talking about? Like that?
No, like an actual. Back in the days, there was a cartridge that just said Turbografx. I think, Glenn, you should 3D some fake cartridges and put the logo on top, so you could at least make it look like there's an actual game.
Oh yeah, like those. Those are the game. Those are the game cards.
Right.
That's for the CD attachment.
Right.
So,
you should 3D print those and put it, like, glue it on top and make it look like there's an actual cartridge in it.
Just to show you, that's why I wish they put a slot in there. I'm gonna have to probably drill it out. But if you look, I'm saying these are not that much small. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty close. I mean, it's not really much mini.
Yeah, and John Riggs said
You can't do it. You can't do that with the NES cartridge. The cartridge is bigger than the console.
he did say, yeah, you have to remove it also for the CD to put the CD on the back of it, to remove the dust cover. And, and I've been trying to find one of those too, and they are like expensive, or even broke. They're expensive. They're like $300-400.
Generally, they're very easy to fix. There's some reason. Don't ask me why. There's a bunch of plastic gears in there, but only one gear, one tiny little cog in there, just disintegrates. The other ones are fine. So if you get a CD-ROM that doesn't work, it's $1. You can even 3D print it if you have a good printer. And it's just one cog, and that's it. And it'll fire right up and work great.
Get out.
It's just a really weird thing.
Huh.
Something about these, when you get to modding these, that you're going to have to do with this system that you haven't had to with the other minis. Because of this weird cover that they got, you can't fit.
I hate that. The power adapter, right?
You can't fit, the power adapter and the certain ones don't fit. Like the one that I use mainly on all my other mini systems, it's kind of thick around the tip of it, so it doesn't fit in here. You have to loop it through this hook. I don't know if I can show it on here. Yeah, there's like a hook. You loop it through, and the same thing with the HDMI cable. When this is on,
do you have to run the HDMI out the side?
You have to run it through this hole right here, and then the power comes through the side hole right here.
Why did they put the HDMI right next to the power? Or I should say, put the power next to the HDMI.
I'm going to tell you exactly why. You want to know why?
Because it's Konami?
No. I got to disconnect this. Actually, I can't even disconnect it right now. But basically, the CoreGraph motherboard, the way it's designed for the PC Engine and the CoreGraph, I can take this cover back off again. There's the HDMI, right there. So when you look at the CoreGraph, the PC Engine, that's the board. The board sits right here. So it just happens to sit right there. But to be quite honest, for the amount of money you pay for this, you only get one controller. They could have put a small little cable and brought it out over here.
Agreed.
Or something like that. It's just, and it's such a shitty, I got to say it, shitty spot in this machine. It's just, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, the one negative thing I have to say about it was that the placement of the ports on the back and how you have you have to have this off to be able to plug anything in. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, you have 2 different hook spots that you got to run your cord through. It's
right.
Because you can't even run it. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, you can't run it through this top cord if you're going to have the case on. You have to run it through this side hook here. And it's just, like I said, some won't even fit. The one that comes with it fits, but I don't know yet if that cable is a data cable or just power. So I haven't been able to, connect to it through Hackgy or anything yet. So that may be something else. And to get this thing open, it's not as easy as just removing the screws. On the back, there's 2 like clamps that you have to somehow unclamp. And yeah, because it is thin, but man, does it hold this thing together. And that's going to be another hurdle that if we have to open this up to hack it, it's going to be something else.
So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it here.
I just got a message. I got a message from Sean Powers in the chat room, and he said, and I'm going to put this out there. If somebody wants to put it in the chat room after I say it, printerboy.net has a bunch of dust covers that you can get for the Turbografx, for the CD, leaving it all on there.
Yes.
And
he makes good dust covers, very good dust covers.
So if you guys are like me and it's driving you nuts, you can get one there. I appreciate that, Sean, for sending it in. We got a caller calling in here. Let's see.
No, wait a second. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this?
Because it's a bag. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I got a Arcade 1-Up question for you.
Sure, go for it.
Shoot.
Look, I got a home arcade here, and I don't have like a head-to-head fighting machine, and I didn't really like the way the MK cabinet's made, and you look at the Street Fighter, it's got the speaker on the control deck, so I'm looking at the Marvel Superheroes, the limited edition sold out, but I see like HSN, they have one for $389. What do you think about that one?
It's a good option.
I thought it was pretty good.
Are you gonna mod or are you gonna mod this cabinet? Or are you just looking to play some fighting games? And I mean, what's your long-term
play
goals?
Some fighting games. I might mod it in the future, but it comes with the light-up buttons. It's got the light-up marquee, the personal riser. But I'm wondering, do you think it's worth it? I mean, you can have, I think it's 6 payments of $65 at your credit card every month, or you can just pay right up front. And $389, free shipping. I feel like I jerked around long enough and missed out on the limited edition one. So I'm looking at this because it's got the speakers up top under the marquee and the volume control. It seems like a better head-to-head cabinet from my viewpoint.
Is there something different from the original one that came out?
Yeah, there's 3.
I'm not really familiar with 1-Ups. Sorry.
Yeah, there's the regular $299 retailer version that doesn't have all the bells and whistles, no light up buttons, no light up marquee. And then there's the home shopping network that's got multiple different colored LED buttons that emblematize the Infinity Gauntlet jewels, the Infinity Stones. And then there's the special edition, limited edition one that was sold through Arcade 1-Up's website that had similar bells and whistles, but instead of light up buttons, that actually had sandwall buttons. So.
Yeah, I think the one that my brother got too, that we modded, that we took out, I believe there's Sanwa clones on it, because it did say Sanwa on the buttons underneath when I pulled them out. So I mean, they're not bad sticks, but we replaced them because he wanted the light up buttons on it. He didn't care. He's not a purist when it comes to the arcades. He wanted them to light up because his stepson, he's gonna be playing it. So
yeah, but no, by far that Marvel cabinet doesn't matter which version you're going with. That would be the ideal one to go with, because it's just got a better make, quality, finish all the way around. That's Arcade 1-Up. It stepped their game up significantly in this third wave, or whatever generation you want to call it, considering what you look back on the original Street Fighter one, and then you look at the Mortal Kombat one, which was an improvement over Street Fighter, but even then the Marvel is an improvement over the Mortal Kombat one. So you're looking at the right one. It just really boils down to, do you want to save a little extra money, and how much do you love those light up buttons? Is really what it boils down to. Because you can save $100, spend that money towards a mod, or you can just enjoy the light up home shopping network.
You can get the light up buttons. You can get pretty much anywhere at this point, anyway.
Yeah.
They have those, even those, what they call those moonlight buttons, where it's just like the ring lights up and not the actual button itself. So it's easy to do. If you want to put them in yourself.
I like the customized riser and the light up marquee too, and that's pretty cool compared to like just the regular straight up wooden marquee. You
Agreed.
know, but
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
looking at
They
the
should all have
Legends
light up
Ultimate
marquees,
too,
period.
and you can't find that anywhere. It seems like everybody's sold out, but
well, if you
how
find
many
one
like
without a light up
bring your own
marquee,
game
Angel will make you
ROMs
one.
can you have on that?
How many ROMs you have? That depends on how big a memory card or storage you have on the device.
Yeah.
But I thought you could save it right to the hard drive on the machine itself.
Are
Or
we
is that
talking
not
arcade
true?
one up or are we talking Legends?
Legends Ultimate.
Oh.
That
Yeah,
you have to use a thumb drive for your
Yeah.
own stuff, but they do have 350 pre-built.
Or you
Plus,
can stream
like-
it from your
Right,
laptop or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
So
can
you
put a
can't
Raspberry
save
Pi
your
in
own
it or a
ROMs
blast
to
system
the
or
hard
something.
drive on that?
There's no hard drive. It's just it's just RAM right on the board.
That's not true. That's what Retro Ralph said. They had like
Oh, okay.
14 terabyte. Wasn't there 14 million terabytes in there?
Oh,
Retro Ralph had
he
it
got
there?
into the server, but yeah, unfortunately, you just put a thumb drive in it. It's not a big deal.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I might
Yeah,
pull the trigger on this HSN arcade one up then.
Alrighty.
Enjoy.
We
Hey, thanks, guys.
appreciate
Have a good night.
Appreciate
Have a
the
good-
call. We got two
Thank
more
you.
lined up in here. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Glenn told me to call.
Glenn told you to call.
Oh,
It's Steven.
Oh,
Stephen from Canada. Stephen is actually going to be a guest on a future episode. He actually runs the ColecoVision Addict website, and he used to run the Xbox Addict site as well.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I got a question
Wow.
for you guys. Did you guys see the Amico launch trailer? That was earlier today. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
of
we
that?
talked about that a little while ago. The Intellivision or the Mattel Amico. Yes. At least I did.
Yeah, I jumped in after.
Well, for shame. You're not supposed to miss an episode, dude.
I've had to watch the last 10 episodes or they wouldn't let me come on.
No, it's.
But I
just
mean, we
wondering what
talked
you guys
about
thought.
it. What do you think about it, Stephen?
You know what? I'm not so sure, but I think it'll be good for the wife and the kids and stuff like that, where they can just jump in and play some games. And like we play Cahoots every once in a while, where you basically answer trivia of different movies and games and different things. So it's very casual. You play with your iPad and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That was one cool thing I did see on the Amico. Like they were doing like it was like a board game, and you held the controller like this, and you have the dice on this. Well, turn the light on, but you shake it, and you see the dice shaking on your device, and as you flick it, they leave the controller and then appear on the screen. So it's kind of neat doing stuff like that. Again, that's like Mario Party. It would have like the Wii.
Yeah.
You know, taking these board games
I-
and making it more interactive. I think that's cool.
I think he's onto something, that casual market, that family thing and all that, you know. I think he's onto something, honestly.
It comes down to the price point of like the games, because I think those type of games would sell, but you can go on your phone and get it, for $1.99, $3, get a game. So if they price it more like $10 to $15 a game, I think they may price themselves out of the market. Right now,
Yeah.
for
I
classic
think it's
gamers
$10
like us,
max
we
a
know
game or
the
something.
Intellivision, so we kind of know about it. But to get it more mass market appeal, they're going to have to really try and, first of all, find retailers that would carry it. I think, like a Walmart or something along those lines, or at GameStop if they're even still around. I hope they're not. But stuff like that to get it out there, because again, we know it, and assuming they want to get a bigger market than the retro gaming market, they want to, I'm assuming, get a bigger penetration than that. And again, Atari, with stuff that they've done, is really not helping that era of people coming back to build confidence.
Atari's dead to me.
Exactly. It's dead to me too, the new Atari. But we have a
That
company like,
VCS
let's say,
thing, man? Oh.
like GCC, GCC, General Consumer Electronics, the Vectrex, and things like that. If they were to come back, that'd be a kind of a good thing. Or if Coleco, I can't even say if Coleco comes back, because they kind of tried and they kind of like crashed and burned as well, big time with the Coleco Chameleon, which we'll talk about, when you're on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Right. But on the other side of the coin, Arcade 1-Up is coming back now with the Coleco Minicades. So that may, right. So stuff like that may help. But it comes down to, honestly, the price point of the games they're going to release. Because I don't see any. They promised or said they're going to have also exclusive titles for their system, which is fine. But they have to make sure it's priced down, I think, at like a $10 at the most for the games. What do you guys think about this, console coming out and pricing and stuff like that?
Well, John Riggs said here in the YouTube chat that the games are supposed to be $9.99 or less. So does that kind of change your opinion a little bit?
I think that's probably a good price point to start. I mean, I don't think they're going to be. Maybe they will come out with these A-list titles, but looking at the specs, I don't think it's going to be doing PlayStation or Xbox level games. I'm not even sure it's even going to hit Switch level.
You're not going to see
gameplay.
AAA stuff on there.
Right. Exactly.
Not for $9.
So any
or
custom
$10.
games they're going to have, it's going to be, I assume, very family-oriented kind of games. That's going to be maybe their niche, kind of like what I think Nintendo's still in that market, but when they went away from like the Wii and the motion controllers, I think that they hit it big when the Wii came out. People, grandparents are playing with their grandkids. It was a very easy, interactive thing. The Switch has motion controls, but it doesn't have that same pick up and play that like the Wii has. I think that the Mattel, I keep saying Mattel, but the Amico, Intellivision Amico, needs to get into that. They got to find a niche to grab onto. Otherwise, it'll sell as pre-orders out. It'll be out for a year or two, and it may be the next. What was that one that Android came out, that product? OU, Oyu, Wii? Remember that?
Ouya.
Ouya.
Right. It came out in force, so people were backing it like crazy. It was an awesome thing. It came out and it went and it went right down the bottom. So that could happen here as well.
You'll need a wrist strap to play that Amico to launch that thing into the television.
Well, that would be a good reason to buy a new 8K television this Christmas.
The Wii, right? Anyways, thanks for the call, guys. I just wanted your opinion on it, and love the show, and we'll talk to you guys later for sure. Have a good evening.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right, we got another caller. We had a couple of them calling in, but they dropped off. That's all right. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric from Jersey.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. Hey, guys. I have another Arcade 1-Up question. I saw Cool Toys video earlier this week on the NBA Jam. Really good. Is that still on track for like Father's Day release, or what are you guys hearing on the inside?
I haven't seen that date move away from that July 15th date since all those pre-orders went up. That's still what, to the best of our knowledge, that's still the ETA that we're expecting, is that July 15th turnaround time.
Right. Nothing's been said either way, so I'm assuming no news is
good news.
Status quo, staying with the same.
Somebody needs to ping John D and tell him to call in real quick. Give him the phone number. Tell him to call in.
All right, I just saw John, just real quick, before I drop, I see John Riggs, Jersey, asking Taylor ham or pork roll. I'm originally from up North Jersey, where it was Taylor ham, but it's pork roll.
It's pork roll. Okay. Well, you know what? John Riggs is going to be on the show. I believe it's May 2nd. May 1st, it's a Friday, but we're not going to be doing the show then. We're going to move it to Saturday, and John Riggs will be on the show. So you can call in and harass. You can call in and harass him then too about the pork roll.
All right. Yeah, I said right answer. Right. Hey, you guys all be safe. I hope you and your families are all doing well, and take care tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Same to you.
Thanks a lot for calling in. We appreciate it. He said, right answer, John Riggs. So lines are open. If you were trying to call in, you can call in. Sorry, Doug. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't know what either of those things are.
I was just, when I first saw that ham or pork roll, I didn't know what it was. I was like, what are we talking about? I thought we were talking about
I'm getting hungry.
And I got excited. I was like, oh my God, please tell me there's a place called Pork Roll, New Jersey. But
pork roll's good. And see, look, Angel gets to keep his spot. You see that? He doesn't even have to bounce out. He gets his front Front row seats, right?
Appreciate it, man. I really love that you guys keep me on the show. It gives me something to do at night.
I gotta figure out how to, because with the call-in number, this is usually how I do like the 5 and then add it. I'll have to figure out how I can get everybody on the screen at one time and then have the callers. But it's a work in progress. I've had some guys. How's the audio been to the audience, real quick, before more callers come in? Are they too loud? Because we were playing with it off air, my brother, me, and my wife, and she was calling in. It sounded good in the studio. It sounds good in the headset, but is it too loud for you guys? If it is, I'll work on it
Nah.
for next show.
Actually, some of them are a little low.
Okay.
Some of them are a little.
YouTube, True Music, Lightning says audio's good. Nostalgia says it's good.
Okay, cool. How is it to you guys on the call here with the neural net, like Patton and Glenn and Doug? Does it need to bump up a little bit, or are you guys good?
A little low.
It's hard for me to hear some of these guys.
2 of them have been spot on, but the last couple have been low.
Okay.
I'm like Snake Plissken, man. Everything here is loud. I'm seeing it sharp as a whip. I don't know what to tell you. It's awesome for me.
Well,
Snake Plissken.
I will bump up. I'll bump it up the audio for you guys. Then I can do that on the mixer. But I didn't have anybody on the machine. The call-in machine there. We just did it via phone, sitting in the studio, going, "Oh, it sounds good." So I tried to tweak it the best I could. But if it's a little low, I'll bump it up. So next week it'll be right on. So, everybody in the chat room say it's cool. All right, cool, awesome. Well, again, you guys can call in. We'll hang out for a little bit more, but then we gotta bust because I didn't eat dinner, and I'm kind of like.
Yeah. My wife came to the door 3 times. When are you gonna get food? When are you gonna get food? You can't leave that. Check this out. You can't leave the house because of the virus, but when are you gonna go get food?
Yeah, right. So, Glenn, real quick before if we're waiting on a caller or whatnot, give us a rundown. What do we got next week for our guest?
Be our guest. Well, today obviously is Patton Plays, but no surprise there, right?
But there's a guy next week that I'm just not sure.
No, it's not next week. A guy next week is or is it Arcade?
Oh, Arcade. Okay.
Arcade. Jong, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. After that, we are right. After that, we're going to be doing May 1st. It's my son's birthday, so we're skipping out on the 1st and doing the 2nd with John Riggs, who graciously designed to come on to us. On May 8th, we have Richie Knuckles coming back on.
Yes.
Story time.
And then we have Angel coming on May 15th.
Oh yes, I'm trying to hopefully get a haircut and shave for that one.
Steve Cameron will be on May 22nd. He runs the ColecoVision Addict and the Xbox Addict websites. On the 29th, Nostalgia will be on with us. And let's see, on what do we have coming up here? We have Wolfpack on June 5th. And Wolfpack does Raspberry Pi builds. He actually, I think, had a new build come out today, I think it was. He had a new 256 gigabyte. But basically, Wolfpack, almost, I don't say all, but the majority of Pi images out there are built off of his work.
Awesome.
He's done a lot in there, so he'll be on. And I think after that, there's other people coming on.
Yeah, we get some books. All right, caller, you're on the air. Who do we got? Hello, caller, are you there?
Oh, hey. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Yeah, a little bit of audio doubling here, but I'll try to just ask a quick question here. So I'm thinking about doing a Raspberry Pi 4 in my Street Fighter 2 cabinet. What image would you guys recommend?
Has the Retro Arena come out with an image yet for the Pi 4? I like their stuff for the Pi 3, the Retro Arena. I usually go with their stuff. So if they've done something for the Pi 4, I would go with that. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, that's for the O. That's for the Odroid.
I'm an Odroid person. Retro Arenas.
Yeah, me too. I got my Odroid back here, and I forgot. I'm thinking the wrong thing. I got no idea for Pi.
I'm actually speaking to Wolfenos. He's working on something good, so I'm waiting for that to come. Yeah.
Excellent.
Wolf's go to pounce.
What do you recommend, Glenn? Because I kind of built mine from. Didn't really have like an image. I just downloaded it from RetroPie. I did RetroPie.
I always recommend the most important one is Pong. It's hard to say. There's so many different builds honestly out there. It's hard to pick really one. You really have to download them and give them a shot, to be quite honest. Some have different interfaces. It's really a personal thing, a personal preference. I've been using, honestly, up until now, the Supreme builds, which Keo Daikin has done. But I know I think his is also built off of Wolfpack's ones. But for the most part, I've been using lately the Supreme images, Supreme builds.
That's what Nostalgia's saying in the chat room too. He said he'll have a video up this week showcasing the different builds. So you definitely want to tune in for that. If he's going to put together a video, go subscribe to him. He's a follower of the channel, but we check out his videos. So that might help you.
Right.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, and actually, P-Dubs just said that Wolfpack's Pi 4 image is due out today.
Cool.
So if you're some kind of punk, I'm sure you can find an arcade way to get it.
All right. And we got another caller. Caller, you're on the air. Okay. Somebody really likes their wrestling.
I mean, who doesn't like The Rock?
Oh, no. I'm just saying somebody's really got it going on. That's cool.
Can you smell what I'm cooking?
So Eminem's asking a question there for you, Cool Toy.
Oh, it's got a question. It says, do we have any inside scoop on the II Arcade? Saw P-Dub's latest show about it. I guess they're about to give us info soon. Yep. We'll be having them on.
That is
very
true.
And
Steven
discuss the arcade. I know Zhang wants to give out details, kind of sprinkle them over time. So make sure you tune in the show when we have him on. I'm sure he'll give us a couple of nuggets and then follow them. I know they talked about today they're going to do more Facebook live streams for their official account. So it'll be a weekly kind of update and news and info coming straight from Zhang, the president, CEO, and founder of II Arcade. So you don't want to miss it.
Leah Moore in the chat room on Facebook had stated, any chance of getting Al on from Pixel Arcade? I think you and I have both been talking about getting him on at some point. You had the exclusive interview in the beginning, but he was busy, but you were able to squeeze something out of him a little bit. Maybe we can get him on the show here coming up here. Get that. Sure. And Steven,
he's been working on a lot of things. He's been working on a lot of the updates, and the last update he did was really cool. I don't know if you've done it yet with the animations and stuff like that.
I didn't do it yet, but I've been playing. Steven Cross says Virtual Man just came out with a 512 gigabyte image. In relation to the person that called in about the Raspberry Pi, yes. So
it's like 3 weeks of downloading for Doug. It'll take him like a month to get it.
Sorry, I'm trying to jump back and forth between the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat and the Facebook chat.
We had a question, and there's another question here: is it Replicate or Numbskull, which is better?
Can't go wrong with
either.
either.
Hard to say. Right, I have both. They're different sizes for the most part. I think that Numbskull really tries to get down to the absolute most accurate you can get. Where Replicate gets very, very close, and to be quite honest, I think it's just as good. They're going to be a little more inexpensive, and they're obviously a little bit smaller, so it just depends on what you're looking for. Of course, being me, I buy both, whatever. But I do think that Numbskull, they try to get extremely, extremely accurate, and I do think that the Replicates do as well, but they can also give you some cool features on theirs that sometimes you won't see normally on the real machine. So, which is better? I'll say this, which is on sale. There you go.
Hey, caller, you're on the air. What do we got?
Hey.
All right. That was
I don't
good.
know.
See, Doug, you're gonna have a fun job.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
You know, he's got to screen all of these.
Yeah, Doug's gonna screen them.
It's not hard. I can.
Doug's the bouncer.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
You don't want to tick off Doug.
I'm used to screening people. That's not a problem.
You know,
Thank God I'm not doing it.
It is good though, Angel, for this time. You know, like the post show, it's fine. Yep. Here's somebody else is calling back. Let's see who this is. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Giggity, giggity, gig.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Quagmire, you know there's 5 women jumping out of the back of your car? That's okay. They're tagged. I'll get them later.
So, Ed, did any of you guys do while we're waiting to see if anybody calls in, we'll wrap it in 10. Did anybody do the Streets of Rage 4 pre-order? Doug?
Well, you already know I did not.
I'll do it if I'm not getting it December 31st.
So I've got the. So I ordered the one from Limited Run Games, which I know will show up super late.
I'll do it if I'm not getting it December 31st.
So I'm also going to buy it on Steam so I can play it day one, midnight whenever it releases.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm getting my fix.
So that was a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, it's P Dubs again.
Okay.
I got your stickers, P Dubs. I got your stickers.
guys, I still have all these stickers. We gotta dump these on somebody.
Wait a second.
Angel.
I know for a fact you can go where Atari is and put it in the landfill. Just move some ET
Oh, okay.
cartridges out of the way, and you can put them right in there. But just cover them with ET cartridges.
Wasn't that in a landfill in Arizona?
Yeah,
Yeah. New Mexico.
I say drive around and just slap them on any sign.
Yeah, I put one on Retro
littering
Ralph's
violation.
mailbox.
You put one on Retro Ralph's mailbox?
Yeah, got one on Retro Ralph's mailbox.
How did that go?
Added 5 subscribers.
Just don't put it in the post office. They might we might see you on America's Most Wanted.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm drowning in stickers, guys. I gotta go.
I'm telling you, man. You need to make
All right, bye.
Out of stickers.
Need to send us one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
He's got tons. Hey, at least you got his stickers on time, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
So
That's why he's rubbing it
we
in.
talked a minute about Replicate and New Wave Toys. I'm dying for my Dragon's Lair cabinet. See, I did pre-order that. That's pre-ordered. And I cannot wait. To
Where's
get my
it?
Dragon's Lair cabinet.
Where's it coming? Where's it coming from? Like, is it coming from in the U.S. or is it coming out of the country?
Yeah, it's coming from China.
Ooh. When's it due?
Last ETA was mid-May is when they were hoping for.
You might be all right.
It might be pushed back.
Yeah.
Nah,
You might be all
I
right.
think, I think it's gonna miss. I think it's gonna miss that personally, but I can't wait because Doug, I know you've seen it. I know you're into it as well. That thing looks fantastic.
It looks perfect.
Fantastic.
It's HDMI out, so all the people that say, "What is this, an arcade for ants?" can shut up because you can plug it into whatever you want and play it. And it also, if you did the Kickstarter back the Kickstarter here, get that out. You get the little mini portable laser disc player, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I mean about with New Wave Toys. They do really cool little things like that. So I cannot wait for that. And they also toyed with Missile Command cabinet, including the sit down cabinet. I don't know if they're actually doing it, but I saw that. I want it. Can you play it? Probably not, but I want it.
I mean,
want it.
I saw it at E3 and it was awesome. Like I was trying to get like my fingers in there and play it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's completely impractical," but he's like, as a fan and as a love letter to fans, he's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to make it.
I want it.
I'm making a
Want it.
prediction
Want it.
right
Want it.
now that Doug and Glenn will have this hooked up to their Legends Ultimate playing Dragon's Lair when they receive
Oh.
it.
2 seconds.
It can, yeah, it can do it.
You heard it here
TV.
first.
Yeah. Oh, it just looks awesome. And again, I completely suck at Dragon's Lair. I mean,
we all do.
suck.
Everybody does.
Yeah, I was
Nobody's
like,
good at
everyone
Dragon's Lair.
Look at.
It's like, hey kids, you want to die? You want to see what Dark Souls was in the 80s?
I got to the level
How much
where
money you want to spend to see 2 screens?
I got to the level where the girl and Drake or whatever his name is going down through the twists and turns, and that's when I stopped. But I thought I did pretty good considering.
You mean Dirk?
Dirk,
Dirk?
whatever, Drake.
Yeah.
Rescue and
Well, because I like Uncharted, so Dirk
Yeah.
is Drake. I'm a big Uncharted
Well,
fan.
actually, I knew a
love that
guy.
game.
I knew a guy who knew the whole thing. He can do it like fine.
Really?
Timing is never good for me. I just cannot do it.
I mean, it's got a pattern, but you got to memorize the entire game because you don't know which screens are going to come up each time. So
The only one I beat it on was the Amiga because the Amiga only had like I think 10 scenes, but the bad thing was they had so much freaking copy protection on there. Half the time you get through the game, it would just crash because the disc wasn't being read right. You got to start all over. But it's just a game that I don't know. I want Daphne. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah, I want Daphne.
Okay, I'm a little lost. They're coming out with a Dragon's Lair cabinet.
Oh yeah, they had a
Oh,
Kickstarter
arcade
for it,
one-up
my
is
friend.
too. Yeah.
A one-up arcade one?
No, not one up.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, they've already came out and said that they're working on it. We just don't know when.
Oh, okay. That's crazy.
But to satiate that need, you can get one from New Wave Toys in the very near
Right.
future.
Right, with a little mini video disc player in there, little coins, and like I say, New Wave Toys. You know, they're a great bunch of guys over there. They really have a passion for it. You know, I think most people do. I shouldn't say that, but they definitely. I speak to them. They have a true love not only for the stuff that they make, but the people who buy their stuff. They want to make everyone happy, which is really great to hear.
all right, we got a caller here. What's up? What's up, caller?
Across the crime dog.
Gotta take a bite out of crime.
Take a bite out of crime.
At least they're fun ones.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Yeah,
what do you
it
say?
could
We call it a night, wrap her up,
Yeah, we'll
put a bow on it.
Otherwise, Smokey the Bear is going to call in next. So
Yeah, no, it's cool.
My cup's empty. I need more anyway. So,
yeah, what you drinking there? Is that Kool-Aid?
It's adult Kool-Aid.
You drinking that Turbografx 16 Kool-Aid?
I think
that's what he is on. I am.
Hey, Glenn, did you get those? Did you get that package yet, Glenn?
I did not, young man. I didn't get it.
Oh my God, I'm having so many issues with New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Well, it's it's to be expected. New York is still in a really bad way. And again, I'm gonna say it, I'm sure we've talked about it a million times, but this is still a time where make sure you wash your hands. If you have a mask, wear them. Stay home. Save lives. It's not a joke. I mean, people are starting to think, oh, everything's fine. I'm home. I'm bored. Doug works the hospital system. I work in the hospital system. I've seen a lot of people. I've been in there, pass away. They came in. Yeah, I see people come into the ER, but day later they pass away. I mean, this is still a very serious thing, and it's scary as hell. And my team, we're in the hospital around these areas, but doctors and nurses are even more involved with it. And if you can stay home, stay home. It's almost like a once-in-a-lifetime thing to play these games on the government's dime if you can. I understand some people out of work. I understand that. But this is a serious thing. People's lives are definitely in jeopardy.
It's just because you guys are a sanctuary state. That's what it is, because we're ready to open up.
Well, New York, I'm telling you, is definitely.
But here's
an area where
the
it's still
bad
not
part.
good.
This is what's bad about all this. People are so cabin fevered that they're already staging these protests and going out. There's going to be an uprising if they don't open up. And you know what? The fact of the
You
matter
know
is
what's going to happen?
People are going to get sick.
You're right. You're right. What's going to happen is people are going to do that, and it's going to bring a whole new wave of this stuff coming.
And
right
everything's
back
going
in.
to get locked down yet again.
Right.
So
that's where the stupidity comes in. Just wait it out. I know it's hard. I'm the opposite. I wish I was able to stay home and play.
Well, yeah,
work on
I
my
mean,
project.
I still have an
I'm
essential
at
job
work.
too. I work too.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just a time where it's almost like a once in a lifetime thing. Enjoy it while you can. I know everyone has said to themselves, "I wish I have to go to work and stay home." Well, they're telling you to do that.
Yeah.
So do it.
They might cancel the NFL season because of the new wave. I don't know. I haven't heard anything with that. I did see that they said about possible concerts and gatherings and things like that might be canceled till 2021, but we'll see.
They might postpone it or play with empty stadiums, but I don't see them canceling the NFL games.
No, I think everything will, simmer
I think
itself
after
down.
the summer,
Yeah.
once the summer, at the end of the summer, like August, that's when more decisions will actually be cemented.
Yeah.
Because the summer is supposed to do a good number on the on what's going on.
Fingers crossed.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Take care. Be
Take
safe.
care. Brush your hair. All that good
Some
stuff.
of us don't have hair, Steven.
Well,
Yeah,
listen.
it's kind of just